We're officially live.
Hey!
I need to play around with my lighting to see if I can get something a little bit better.
Yeah, I've had to change up my camera settings to reduce the glare off of my massive forehead.
my lights are set up for like build streaming, not really getting better lighting during the main stream.
Oh yeah, I've just bought a load of stuff actually for build streaming. So my lights are kind of on tripods at the side of both sides of my cameras, and then one of them kind of comes over the top when I'm doing a build stream. But what I've got is I've got a pole that's going to go across the width of the room. I'm going to hang the cameras on, hang a camera off that so it's directly above the middle rather than off to the side, and then hang the lights off of it as well. So
yeah, I need to just get like a light like everywhere on all of my walls. I just need lights instead of walls. And then I'll actually get
just lights everywhere.
Yeah,
lights
I'll
everywhere.
get.
Well, the other thing I looked at is that you can get these ceiling panels now that are really bright white lights that are probably better than the photography lights that I've got at the minute. And I could just tile the ceiling effectively with those and have the whole ceiling floodlit, which would be quite interesting. We'll see. I don't know. I might do that. It's about the same cost as what the other stuff I'm doing. So. Yeah. Okay, 159 tier 1 sub already. Thank you very much, man. We really appreciate that, dude. Top Clack hype, he says.
Hype. Nebulet says early. We've been early since Jay started on the show. We've been going live early. Even before then, I go live like 5 to 10 minutes early every single time.
Yeah, and we've got Geo and Bledin as well. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Or as Bledin says, good morning. Yes, it is 7 minutes to 2 in the morning here.
But it goes from tiny to top clack back to tiny? What? That's a problem.
What?
It shouldn't.
Refresh.
Yeah,
it should be fine.
I just checked and that's so weird. That's gotta be some kind of bug that Twitch needs to actually fix on their side.
Yeah, it happens every now and again for me. It happened last week because obviously I watched the stream live as we're talking, but it happened for me last week. But this week it didn't flick back to tiny, so.
Yeah, like when we actually officially go live, it should stop all hosting of other channels that we're doing and strictly just go to us.
I think it's a browser issue, not a Twitch issue. But
oh, okay.
Yeah. I've got Mr. Munich in the chat as well. Good evening, good sir. Oh, do you know what? I've just said that it hasn't done it this week, and it has. It's just literally now taking me back to Tiny Makes Things. There we go.
What?
Yeah, there we go. I'm back. Oh, and Geo with the 18-month subscriptions. Thank you very much, dude. I think we're gonna. I think this week we're gonna see a 19-month subscription. I think.
Maybe. Yeah.
If not this week, then definitely next week.
Talisman Solutions. What's up, man? Gentlemen and ladies. That's right.
Oh, did you see one already, Geo? Geo saying we've already seen a 19.
Did we?
I didn't think we. No, I don't think so. Or maybe we did.
Maybe we did. I don't remember. I think Captain Schwa resubbed last week, and I think he was like one of, if not our very first subscriber ever.
Yeah.
So it might have been him.
Okay.
I really don't remember.
I feel like I'd remember if it was a 19 because I've been waiting for that for a little while.
Yeah.
And FizzKey with the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate that, man.
Z-Ray says, pour one out for the top Clack boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be soft drink tonight.
We're alive though. You don't have to pour it out you don't have to waste it for us. Like enjoy the beverage yourself in our honor.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, Bledin's run out of rum.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I have nothing as well. No whiskey. I had a bottle of wine last night.
Oh, okay.
I'm not usually a wine drinker, but my girlfriend was over and she brought a bottle, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Nice. Was it white or red wine?
I'm not really a wine expert. It was white. It was a Riesling. That's actually local to me, somewhere in my state. It was pretty good. Most wines are usually a little too sweet for me.
Right. That's fair.
But it was pretty good.
As long as you enjoyed it, that's the main thing.
Yeah. So I am on the Pepsi. Wow. Wow. You got a rum and coke, but you know, just sans rum.
Yeah, and you know the something rum gone. Yeah, where's the rum gone?
Nebula has ramen and an IPA.
And an IPA. Yeah. Nice. That's a good way of doing it. Yeah.
That actually sounds like a really good combination.
Talisman's got coffee and 3 Diet Mountain Dew chasers. Nice. I've just had a pint of coffee. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. I've just had a pint of coffee, and now I just need some sugar to get me through.
You guys go so hard with your caffeine. My gosh.
Oh man. Yeah. I wouldn't be awake and talking now if I hadn't had that cup of coffee. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I drink so little caffeine. Like, I don't really ever drink soda. I'll have coffee maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. And it's usually not very much. No, I drink a ton of water. I drink at least a gallon of water a day.
Oh yeah, I don't know how much a gallon is in litres, but I probably drink 3 litres of water a day. So it's probably about the same. But yeah, it's a lot of coffee for me as well. Just being at work, meetings, people bring coffee or order coffee in, or you meet in a coffee shop. It's just, yeah.
So 1 US gallon is almost 3.8 liters.
Okay. So broadly the same.
Then. Yeah, I drink about 4 liters of water a day, ish.
Cool. Oh, and there's the bot pinging.
Oh,
that was quick today.
That was pretty quick. It's not even 6 yet either. So we'll chill. I like to wait until like 1 or 2 minutes after our official start time because not everyone is a cool early bird like you guys.
Yeah. Bot is early. When I streamed on Sunday, the bot pinged within about 30 seconds of him going live. So that was really quick.
Sounds about right.
And Titan with the tier 1 sub 5 months in a row. Thank you very much, dude. We really appreciate the support. Early bird feels Birdman. Yeah.
Feels Birdman.
It is early bird here. It's 2 a.m.
Sakun says, is this a mukbang stream or what? This is not, but during our upcoming 24-hour stream, I think I want to do a mukbang segment, including Nathan Kim.
Oh, that would be cool. Do you know what we should do? We should do like a mukbang segment, but what we should do is we should send each other like a small package of our favorite things. So I'd send like a nice package to you and Nathan, and then we could try each other's things live on stream and see who's got the best taste on snacks or something. That could be really fun.
That sounds really fun. Yeah, let's do that. That would be great.
Let's arrange that.
Man.
We could do like the hour of the mukbang and
just like an hour of it. We really need to start nailing down this schedule for the 24-hour stream. We need to work on segments for it.
Yeah. I think once we've got a list of things we can do to cover the 24 hours, then we can start thinking dates and getting stuff out there. Jason's the weirdest things to Quakeham's. Oh, the weirdest food things to Quakeham's. Yeah. I've sent you some things before, though, Brian, haven't I?
You sent me. I don't remember what either of them were called, but I remember liking one of them and not liking the other. You sent me
the caramel wafer thing that you liked?
Those were pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's called Sonic Spa. They're really good.
The weird like scampi and lemon puff snacks or whatever.
knickknacks.
Those were a little strange. I still
eat
them, but
they're not my favorite. I put them in there because I had them and I wasn't going to eat them. We buy them for the kids in the family that come around. Bledin knows what they are. Bledin's in the chat. I sent knickknacks. Yeah, I sent both flavors knickknacks. Next time, Bledin, I'm going to send him some Space Raiders. So there you go. I won't tell you what they are just yet.
Okay.
You'll appreciate them when they arrive.
Sometimes Outrage Pudding sends me pate. That's always really exciting.
Yeah.
Send
Welsh cakes. I'm not sure he's ready for Welsh cakes.
Not Zesty Salsa is asking if we have any date planned for the 24-hour stream. We do not yet, but I'd like to do it soon.
Yeah, soon.
we just got to work on the structure and the segments because it's gonna be a long one.
Yeah, the thing is, before we get a date and stuff in mind, we need to make sure that if we're going to have people on for different segments, that we can all do the same date and what times we can do. And we need to have a structure for it before we announce anything. So yeah, Brian and I are working on it in the background.
It's gonna be more than just a 24-hour stream. It's gonna be like an event, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Mr. Petrov says, "I love the beard trim you got. Looks amazing." He must be talking about you because I have not done anything with my facial hair in a while.
Neither have I. Maybe that's what he means. Maybe he's...
Oh, he's just trolling us. Okay, yeah. See, I combed my beard to try to look a little bit more consistent today, but it's still terrible. I'm just too lazy to go get it cut.
Yeah, my hair's getting too long as well. I need to go to the barbers and get my beard trimmed and my hair cut at some point this weekend. Yeah. And we also got It's Undone with a 5-month subscription, saying, "Oh hi, hello, good evening, good sir," and Mr. Patrick well saying, "What a time to be alive with 4-month streak."
At tier 2 sub even. Thank you, sir.
Oh, a tier 2 sub. Wow, yeah. Wow, excellent.
Heck yeah. Mr. Munich says, "Can't go wrong with haggis." I've never had haggis, but I swear to you, I would try it.
Okay. Well, I'll see what I can do on that one. See what I can do. And Slavadavading Dong subscribed with Twitch Prime. That is a fantastic username. Slavadavading.
Oh, that's pretty great. Oh man.
And Mountain Blocks with the 200 bits. Happy Thursday, my dudes, and happy Thursday to you as well.
Heck yes. Appreciate that, guys. And 159 gifts a tier 1 sub to Teha Types, Sir Nathan Kim.
Sir Nathan Kim, knighted by the one and only Quakums.
I don't know how you... I need like a keyboard. I just need to like tap his shoulder or something.
Yeah, we should get the Hyper 7 and we should tap his shoulder with the Hyper 7 on either side.
Oh, yeah. Or the, what's the keyboard that's supposed to like, it kind of looks like a sword?
Oh, the Keyblade.
Yeah, that one. Do you have one of those I can use?
No, I do know someone who has one. I can get hold of one, yeah.
I might need one of those.
If you're watching, you need to send me that and lend me it.
We should just have a GIF where we just knight people.
Yeah. If for certain reasons we can just knight people on the stream. Yeah, we should do that. Oh wow, it's all going on. So 159 has just gifted a stub to Straight Classy. Thank you very much for that, dude, and well done, Straight Classy. Jay Shuff has gifted a tier 1 sub as well. I'm not sure who that's gone to. Oh, to Much Lols. Yep, cool. And 159 with another gift sub to LBI Bass as well. So wow, lots going on there.
Yeah. And also Nebula donates an amount of bits that I'm not going to count because he made sure they were all random numbers. So we appreciate that, but I'm not going to count that.
Nebula. It's the Fibonacci sequence. There we go. Or the prime numbers, something like that. Fibonacci sequence. Yeah, there we go.
Wow, clever girl.
I'm guessing. Yeah, he's saying that it's not random. Am I right?
Okay, I'm sorry. It's not random. I'm just stupid. Okay, relax. Anyways, we're 5 past now, so now's probably a good time to actually start the show. So I'm going to go ahead and roll our intro real quick. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Top Clack. I am your host, Quakums, joined by my co-host, Jay. Oh, he's on this side, that's right. I point to the wrong direction because I'm like looking at the screen, but then I realize that it's the opposite. Anyways, hope you guys are all doing fantastic, and you guys are looking forward to some keyboard news and things of the like, and a little Q&A to round out the stream at the end, like we always do.
Absolutely.
Quick shout out to anyone that may be doing graphic design. I want a new intro, but I don't know how to do it. So if anyone out there wants to, maybe, work on a new Top Clack intro, something a little bit more polished, a little bit more professional, a little bit more new agey, I will pay you for it, of course. But just people, designers out there, maybe one little side project, just a little short intro.
Yeah, as Dixie says, that's not graphic design.
Well, whatever. See, that's how little I know about it. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, we'll start out with a little bit of a mail call, which we might not have the most exciting things this week, but we did get a couple things.
quiet week.
A little bit of a quiet week, but that's okay.
Go on, you go first. You go first, Brian.
So if anyone hadn't actually noticed, I am wearing my Holy Panda shirt, which just I think it came in yesterday or the day before yesterday. So been rocking that, which has been pretty nice. Came with a bunch of stickers too, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's well, let me see if I can find them because there was one or two that were just really adorable. This one right here. I'm trying to show this off right. So a little Holy Panda character there, he's sleeping. And the reason I like this one so much is because he's actually blepping. His tongue's out a little bit there.
Oh, yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Which
nice.
is just freaking adorable. So I really like the stickers as well.
That's really cute.
So I got that, and my HS60 arrived just the other day as well. I did get the HHKB version, but I'm actually trading for the normal 60 version, which might seem strange, but I assure you, for me, it's going to make sense.
Okay, if that's the way you want to do it. I was going to say, if you want both, I can probably find you. I think I've got a HHKB one here as well.
I do want both, eventually.
Okay, right, okay, I'll see what I can do. I'm pretty sure I've got a HHKB one lying around, so if I have, I'll send that your way.
You are too kind.
Something I will use. I'm blood insane. How dare you trade a HHKB one?
I know. I'm trading the layout that I prefer for the layout I don't prefer, but there is a reason.
That's madness.
There is a reason for it. All right. There is a reason for it. Fair enough. Just you wait. It'll all make sense eventually.
Cool. Okay. For my mail call this week, I've only got 2 items as well. The first one is that I got the Chartreusiform ETF cap that came in from my win last week. And also ready for Sunday, I have the gaskets for the JO1, so lots of nice rubber gaskets, which will be on stream on Sunday when I build the JO1 finally. I can't wait to get that done. So yeah, that's all I've had this week. Quiet week.
All right. Could be worse. Could be worse. We could have just both had nothing.
Yeah, I'll try and make sure that doesn't happen. But I'm looking around now. I don't think anything else has come this week. No, I'm pretty sure nothing else has arrived.
All right. Well, actually, that makes it a little bit easier. We can just roll straight into our news doc here, which isn't the biggest you've ever seen, but there's some interesting things on it.
I think there's some good talking points today. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth talking points.
Yeah.
I think there's some things that we've got some different opinions on, which we could as well.
Yeah. So yeah. Holy crap. Talisman Solutions gifting 11 tier 1 subs. So thank you very much for that. One to Iridius, one to Wolframe, one to Pepe Sylvia, one to VPR, one to Sakun, JT Jet, Gimecat, Running Hack, Asemi, Drifting Bunnies, and Rudbeard. So holy crap. Thank you so much for that.
68 gift subs in total. 68 subs in total is gifted. That's amazing. That's actually... I think that's more than Geo. He's overtaken Geo there. Yeah, he's well overtaken Geo with that.
Holy crap.
It was close last week when they were looking at it, and I think Geo was the first to hit 60. But wow, that's... Talisman, thank you, dude. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. We definitely appreciate that so much.
Yeah, more than we can say. Oh man, that's amazing.
It's like we need one of those like gifts where it's like Oprah and she's like, "You get a sub, and you get a sub,
and you get a sub, and you get a sub." Yeah, just going off.
There's so many like fun little like graphic sequences I want to just kind of post up. Like I remember with Huey, we had a joke that we were gonna get a stamp that was like a Top Clack must buy. I kind of I want to do one of those too.
Top Clack endorsed.
There's so many things I want to do for the stream, but like so little time, and I have so little knowledge on how to do a lot of the things.
It's the effort as well. Well, ISO Returns did say that we could tap him up for some knowledge on some of the new video creation stuff. So we'll definitely reach out to you after the stream, dude.
Oh yeah, and Josie Brewer, sorry. Subscribe to Twitch Prime 5 months. Thank you so much for that. Awesome. You guys are too kind. All right. Anyways, getting back to our news doc, actually a little bit before that, we're going to talk a little bit about Mech Madness.
Mech Madness. So, now, this is looking really good and really fun, and Brian and I are both really up for this. We were talking about this for about 20 minutes before the show, guys, so we're all over this.
Yes, absolutely. So why don't you give us a little rundown on how it works, Jay? if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, so it's a bracketed event. So we've got two sides to it. You've got key sets and we've got keyboards. And effectively what Dixie's going to do is over the course of the next month, over the course of the whole of March, there's going to be different matchups each day where we go through the bracket system. Key sets versus key sets, all on Instagram, on Dixie's Instagram page. And for those who get the right points, which we'll talk about in a second, all the way through the season, which is about a month long, there will be prizes given away at the end, which we'll come on to just in a second because there's some interesting stuff that's just gone up about the prizes as well. But effectively, I think, Brian, if I remember correctly, and I don't have this up on the screen at the minute, but the points are you get 1 point in the first round because there's 64 different matchups across the two brackets. So 1 point in the first round, and then is it doubling each week? Is it 2 points in the second round?
Yeah.
And then 4 points, and then 8 points in the final round as well.
It's in the news doc.
Is it in the news doc? Where is it in the news doc?
Scroll down to the bottom.
I've got it. Yeah, got it. Round 5 is 16 points as well. So highest scorers at the end earn all of the prizes that are available on the link that I shared a second ago. So depending on where you rank, if you've won a prize, you will get those different bits and pieces. I didn't realise that was at the bottom of the news doc. I didn't realise you pasted it.
Come on, man. Keep
well.
up.
Yeah, I can see it now. I was going from memory. I was doing all right from memory.
You're doing pretty well, actually.
So I know Dixie's been hard at work putting all of the Instagram stories together in advance to get the brackets set up and make sure he's got all those images on there. And it does start tomorrow, or today for me is the 1st of March right now in where I am. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck in, hopefully when I get home from work tomorrow night.
Yep. So the bracket actually closes to getting your predictions in closes in less than 2 hours. You got 1 hour and 47 minutes to go. It closes at 10 p.m. CST, which is 11 p.m. East Coast time, and West Coast time it's 8 p.m. So just under 2 hours left to go. If you guys haven't done it already, make sure you do it either now or maybe after the show. We're trying to keep it to an hour and a half today for you guys, so you'll have a little bit of time afterwards as well. But make sure you guys join on this because it's free, it's fun, it's going to be an awesome event, and there's a ridiculous amount of prizes that are going to be going out.
There is. The prize list on this is absolutely insane. I just want to shout out to Dixie for getting in touch with all of the partners and the other sponsors that are putting up some of these prizes because he's done a fantastic job just curating this list. And the big news as well today is that he's announced what's going to be there for the perfect bracket. So do you want to tell us about that, Brian? What is the prize if you get a perfect bracket? Because you're pretty confident on this.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I can't win it, but I am very confident in my bracket because it's going to be perfect. So he actually just put up that the final prize, the absolute grand prize, if you get every single matchup correct in your predictions, is a prototype of the Bower, which if you haven't seen or heard about it, it's a really, really, really nice and interesting looking, very, very premium 65% keyboard kit coming very soon by Dixie Mech. And he's the pictures that he's shared has been
very well received.
Got me feeling sorts of ways, guys. So you'll hopefully someone will hopefully win that. I mean, someone's gonna get a perfect bracket, right? I mean, besides me, obviously.
Someone's got to get a perfect bracket.
Yeah,
definitely need to see that.
It would be kind of sad if nobody won the Bower prototype. I feel like
it would. Yeah, it would be sad. But then Dixie can always keep it and have that as his thing if no one wins it. But I would genuinely like to see that go to someone and see someone win that Bower prototype. And then I want to see pictures of it after it's built as well.
Yeah, pretty stoked for that.
Couple of questions. A couple of people have actually asked, is it the perfect bracket in either of the tournaments or is it in both? It's both. It's getting every matchup correct. So every single matchup throughout the whole competition, throughout the whole month of March, that's what you need to get right to get the Bower prototype.
Dixie putting, I don't know if that's accurate, but odds for the perfect bracket are 1 in basically infinity.
9.2, is that trillion, I think?
No, that's way more than trillion.
Is it trillion? I can't read it.
Yeah, that's way more than trillion.
I'm just looking. 1,000 million.
Quintillion?
Quintillion. Okay. Yeah, it's quintillion. Yeah, it's quintillion. Okay.
Yeah. That's like a category of number I haven't ever seen in a bit since I was in like elementary school. So
yeah. Yeah, yeah, 922 trillion. That's a big null number. I don't know if that's right, the right odds, but
Anyways, yeah, pretty
yeah,
nuts. But don't worry, guys. I have the perfect bracket. But you also don't have to worry about that because I'm not going to be able to win it. But just know that I have the perfect bracket, so I would have won it if I, were actually entering it. So find my bracket, says CJT.
Sure, Brian. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna laugh when I get every single one of them wrong.
Yeah, I'll have an imperfect bracket.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have the perfect wrong bracket, which should count, right?
Yeah. For the booby prize, do you know what the prize is for that? It's a lifetime supply of Arctos switches.
No. I feel like I already have that just with this bag. This is way more than I need in my entire life. Anyways, guys, make sure you get in the Mech Madness tournament before it ends in less than 2 hours. So you guys still have a little bit of time. All the voting will be done starting tomorrow on the Dixie Mech Instagram. That's when the actual tournament itself will start. Right after the predictions close. So easy peasy. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys will just have to follow Dixie Mech on Instagram, check out his story every day, and vote on who you think is going to win for the matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the prizes left and right.
Grab Dixie Mech's Instagram link. There we go. So there's the Instagram link for Dixie Mech, guys. Go give Dixie a follow and follow Top Clack while you're at it. And get ready for Mech Madness. You can also see some images of the barrel prototype on Dixie's Instagram as well if you want to go and have a look at that.
Yep, absolutely. So look forward to that. Once the tournament actually starts, on the next episode of Top Clack, we're actually going to be doing a little bit more of a structured segment. It'll be a lot of fun, guys. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that. We're going to have a ton of fun with it. We're going to change things up a little bit for it.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be freaking awesome. So there is that. Make sure you get that done stat.
Absolutely. And Talisman Solution has given another Tier 1 sub to Nebulant, which takes him up to a total of 69 gift subs in the channel.
That is the correct number.
Yeah, you can't do any more now. You have to stick at that number now. You have to stick at that number.
Oh, man. That is freaking awesome. All right, guys. Let's actually move into the news doc. Since a lot of you guys are waiting for that. And
yeah, let me paste up this first link. Yep. There we go. So, this is the Raine M3, and it's designed by Parallelogram, who hasn't posted this link on Keycap. It's been posted by Bledin, who is in the chat. It's kind of come out of the blue a little bit as this board, but it's been designed by the MK UK community, Parallelogram himself, or he's also known by the username of Satan Anarchist. This is an 1800 mini board that's being designed from a different kind of perspective. So it's been designed from a 40% and up rather than an 80% 1800 and down. So it's got multiple different layouts, limited to a 25 unit run for a group buy. Does support both ANSI and ISO, as well as split ISO, which is quite rare. That's not something we usually see on boards today. Very few boards have that these days, but it's an old time layout. It used to be something that we used to get in the UK back when I was quite young. And it also has wing keyless blockers and 2 alternate bottom rows. What do you think on this one, bro? What do you think to it?
As far as the way it looks, I think it looks pretty good. It looks like it's going to be a pretty nice quality, pretty premium feeling board, which I do appreciate. As far as the layout is concerned, I'm not going to lie, it is not for me. The fact that it's kind of more of a 40% with some additions there makes it a little bit tough for someone like me to use. You miss out on all of your punctuation on the right side here of your main cluster, and I use all that stuff way too much to have it on layers personally. But then again, I've always kind of struggled with things that are less than 60%. So for a lot of people, they are totally cool with it and they can get used to it really quickly, and it's no problem at all. For me, it's a little bit harder because I swap between boards and layouts so often that this would be something that totally messes me up. So I like the way it looks, definitely. I like the way it's being designed, but layout, not for me.
Yeah, it is an interesting layout because it does sacrifice some, even on some of the other 1800 mini boards that we've seen, they have got slightly more keys. So one of the things I do find interesting about this one is that the numpad doesn't have an enter key on it. You have to use the standard ANSI or ISO enter key for your numpad, which is one of the constraints around it. And I suspect that it's going to very heavily need the use of layers, like most 40% boards do already. So you're going to have to put all of your punctuation on layers or whatever you need. And then also you're going to need your modifiers on a layer on the numpad, so you can do your multiplication, subtraction, all that kind of good kind of functionality of the numpad. So it is an interesting layout. I think it would take some getting used to, but it looks really smart. The way they've laid it out, it looks quite aesthetically pleasing. The one thing for me that I'm not a fan of is the wing keyless blockers. I'm not sure that bottom row works with the wing keyless blockers for me. I think it's too small of a front row for 2 1U blockers to be supported.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, blockers are never a functional choice because the functional choice is having more keys, always.
Yeah,
that's just how it works, generally speaking. But yeah, so when you add a blocker, it's there strictly for aesthetics. Like it doesn't help you type, like by having a blocker there, for instance. So I mean, it really is just a fashion accessory at that point, which I don't disagree with. I love blockers as much as the next guy, probably even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is just something to think about. There's a lot of case here, and I love seeing that. But on a board that's this small and this layout, it's like where do you start to do your sacrifices, really?
Yeah, I feel that you're already sacrificing a lot of your punctuation, as you said before, Brian, because you are moving to that kind of 40% size layout. You are gaining some functionality with the numpad, but I think a lot of people are going to disagree. It's going to be something that's open to interpretation of the end user, is this one, whether they want the blockers or not. For me, if I was going to use this board, I wouldn't want the blockers there. But I do appreciate why the designer's gone for that choice. Just in terms of some other things, it does have a 7-degree typing angle, and it does have the shorter switch spacing as well. So it's 19mm switch spacing instead of the 19.05mm switch spacing as well. So that's quite an interesting change. And it does only have, at the moment, a USB mini connector. But from what I understand, after some feedback, the designer is considering changing that to USB-C, but that hasn't been confirmed as yet.
Yep. Everything else is fairly run-of-the-mill, high-profile. It's top-mount. It'll have a QMK PCB, which is pretty cool. Seen a lot more QMK lately, which is nice, especially with the new configurator. Makes things a lot more of a breeze. I like it. So yeah, that. What do you think about the switch spacing? Like, do you have a preference between the two sizes? Like, do you think this is kind of a fail or something to kind of highlight here?
So I don't think it's necessarily a fail. I think some of the old OTD boards had the 19mm switch spacing as well, and we know how revered they are. The only board that I've got the 19mm switch spacing on is my E6V2, and that only has it on the bottom row. And what I do find with that is on the 19mm switch spacing, when you take the bottom row, because the spacebar is so long, it kind of compounds the issue of the keys being closer together, compounds over the length of the spacebar, and that does sometimes catch on the keys to the side of it, the 1.5U keys. As far as I understand, that's only on the HHKB version of the E6V2, but the right-hand side of the spacebar, the Alt key and the spacebar do catch occasionally if I hit them off center. So I think it's something you have to watch. With the blockers, it's probably not going to be an issue because that can be designed out of the board. But I think it's an interesting development. A lot of boards are starting to offer it now. And the one thing that it does, it stops you seeing the plate in between the keycaps as well. So if you've got like a nice brass plate, you don't see that shine anymore because there's less space between the keycaps. So yeah, I don't dislike it or like it. I think it's fine either way. It's not enough of a difference to make it bother me. What I don't want to see is anyone have that design on a board and then it impacts key switch feel because you've got keycaps scraping against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. So this group buy is going to be limited to 25 units, and the price is going to be, I'm going to say at least $200 plus shipping, which is what they have listed here. Obviously, the little asterisk there because it's subject to change. Usually there are a lot of back-end costs that a lot of users don't really realize, so that's why a lot of boards wind up being a little bit more expensive than they quote-unquote should be. So I would expect this to go north of 200 plus shipping, but maybe I'm just being picky.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I do know the manufacturer that we're working with, so we'll see how that goes. I think it's an optimistic price, but I don't think it's unrealistic at the same time. So we'll see how they get that. I assume shipping is going to be direct from the guys in the UK, so that might be fairly expensive. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. The only other thing I've just noticed, and I think the guys in chat are talking about this, the right shift is 1.5U. I don't think I've ever seen a 1.5U right shift key in a set.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can see why they've chosen that, because that's the only thing that fits with the aesthetic of the layout. I can understand why that key is that size, but I don't think I've ever seen that key in a sculpted set, at least.
I can't think of any time I've seen one of those either. What other board uses 1.5U shift?
Don't know. Not sure. Dixie says no one uses right shift, or someone said that. What? I think it might have been Dixie.
It's actually funny because when I type, I exclusively use right shift. Exclusively, and then when I play games, obviously and stuff, I use my left shift, and both feel totally fine to me. It's just...
I use left shift for everything apart from a question mark, and I use right shift for that. But that's literally the only time I ever use right shift.
Yeah, I'm kind of a weirdo.
Anyways, well, we know that, Brian. We know that.
Oh, yeah. This is an interest check, and one thing they haven't settled on yet is the colors. So those are still being decided, still being chosen. Yes. So just keep that in mind, guys. So we'll have to get back to this once the group buy actually starts. But it does look pretty promising. Layout preferences aside.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it's roughly the size of a 65% board. Is this, even though it's a 40% with a numpad? It's broadly the same size of a 65% board in terms of width. So it's not a big board, and I kind of like it. I'm definitely interested to work with Satan Anarchist and Blooded to see how this comes out. Yeah, I think it's going to be one to watch. I think they're getting some renders from Jan as well in the next couple of days. So if you are interested in this, just keep an eye on the thread, because there might be some upgraded renders soon.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Up next, we have an interest check for the UD_70, which is seems like a really unfortunate name. I don't know. But this is a pretty interesting looking board. Early interest check going on here. This is by Goldworms, who is the same person that is doing the UD_40, which I think was last week we covered. It was either last week or the week before, but it was very recent. And this is kind of his next project that he's working on. So he does call this a 70% keyboard. So just keep that in mind as we talk about this thread. He calls it a 70%, not a 75%. So this is...
So he calls it a 70%, not the 75%, as you say. It supports two options in terms of layout. It's got win keyless and win key, but it has got more blockers than just the win keyless blockers. So the one thing it does have is it's got blockers across the top between the F-row keys as well. And I think that's where he's getting his number for 70% rather than 75% in part, because he's effectively removing some keys that we normally see up there. Most boards would have an extra 2 keys on that top row and wouldn't have the blockers on the 75%. For example, if you look at the Singer or the KBD75, that's just got a straight top row where it's all keys and there's no blockers on there. But I kind of like the aesthetic of that. I kind of like the way he's splitting up the F-row keys there. That looks nice, and it's very symmetrical across the board as well, which looks quite good. I kind of like that.
Yeah. So this is kind of interesting because if any of you long-time viewers of Top Clack might know how I feel about the keyboard percentage system. And how stupid and broken it kind of actually is, but it's also kind of necessary in a way. But it gets really silly when people are like, "Oh, this is my 63% keyboard. This is my 91% keyboard. This is my 48%." Like, okay, we need some more structure here, guys. But so a lot of people would think like, okay, do you just go by key count? Because 100% keyboard is 104 keys or whatever, 108 keys. And then you scale down from there, but it's never obviously going to be accurate. But that's just kind of the way it is. Like, we don't really have a standard for anything besides like 60%. Like, you show someone in this community a 60% board, and like, okay, that's a 60%. But like, you know, you don't change it based on the layout. Like if you change it with keys, because like maybe, you know, your ISO is going to use more keys than your
yeah, you've got an extra key with ISO
or something like that. Like you don't change the percentage of it just because you're changing how many keys are on it. So you know, a lot of people argue how many keys versus like, you know, footprint of the overall keyboard or the footprint of the layout or something. Anyways, that's a discussion for maybe another time, but it really irks me. But one thing this guy did, which I think was pretty interesting, is he actually did do a win keyless blocker version, and this is unlike other 75% keyboards. So this is kind of interesting. So like a lot of you probably know, the version that has 75% with blockers is usually a 1U blocker on the left side and then a 0.5 blocker on the right side, a la the polycarbonate Singa you can see behind Jay there. That's usually kind of how that goes, and that's kind of just been accepted. Like that's how you do 75% with blockers. But this guy wanted to do something different, and I really like and appreciate this approach. But I can certainly tell why it wouldn't be for everyone. So this guy does have symmetrical 1U blockers on each side, and I freaking love that. The only problem here is it does omit your arrow keys, which is the reason a lot of people use larger than 60% layouts, like 65 and 75%.
Yeah. And do you know, I agree. I think in terms of looks, just looking at the board aesthetically is really pleasing with those two 1U blockers. But again, it is an exercise in force reduction to remove your arrow keys, which a lot of people use a 75% for. The reason they go for a 75% is because it gives them the arrow keys. The reason why most laptops have a 75%-ish keyboard is because it gives you all of that functionality and your arrow keys as well. So it is an interesting design choice. And from an aesthetic purpose, I completely get it. From a usability one, I'm not sure for me if having a 75% without arrow keys kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people probably feel the same. There's not really a reason to get this kind of layout if you're not going to be using, or this kind of size instead, if you're not going to be using the arrow keys. And I totally get that, but holy crap, do I think this looks way better this way. If I were to buy this board, no hesitation, I'd get this layout over the one with arrow keys.
Yeah. So a design question then. Okay. Interestingly, if you got the wing, so the blockered version without the arrow keys, would you still split the right shift, or would you would you put a full right shift on there?
I don't know. I'd actually have to see like a render to see what would look better.
Yeah, because I've noticed it's not in any of the renders. He's only got the full shift in there rather than having a split right shift. But I don't know. Chat, tell me what you think. Would you still split the right shift on this?
Yeah. What do you guys think about this layout in general as well?
Yeah.
Is this like totally asinine? Is this totally unusable for you guys, or do you guys actually think this looks or maybe even performs better for you?
Yeah. KB Warrior says, "Ooh, I think this looks much better."
Yep. Versus the much more normal 75% kind of affair here.
Yeah, I do get it. The bottom row does look more aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. Mountain Block says it's like a nice car you don't drive. Fair. Okay. Texas Breakfast says keep it full shift, IMO. So my argument for splitting the shift would be removing a stabilizer, because stabilizers, even when they're tuned nicely, are still
not a stabilizer.
Ideal. Yeah, it's still a stabilizer. So the effort to reduce as many stabilizers as possible is key for me, which is why I will always split left shift. Even if I build an ANSI board, I will always split left shift as well, because it removes a stabilizer, which is, in my opinion, a big positive. Yeah, Beadlock says full right shift. Okay, interesting. So it seems like everyone's kind of split on this. Donkey Kong Kill Screen says he'd split it.
Yeah, I might split it just for habit. Like I usually have FN to the right of my shift, so it's just kind of normal for me. But I think it looks really good even with the full shift, because it kind of gives you that win keyless TKL kind of aesthetic on the bottom there.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely love the way this looks personally. This, like, aesthetically, this is absolutely a home run for me.
Yeah, I get that. I do get it. Just going back to some of the other specs now we've talked about that interesting design quirk. It does have a brass weight on the bottom. There is an interesting side profile to the case as well. It's got one of those lovely sculpted curves, which I kind of enjoy. I think the side profile of this looks really nice, and I think the Alu top with the PC bottom looks really good as well. That's really nice. It's a good look, is that? Especially with the underglow on the one with the orange underglow. Yeah, I like that. It looks really good. So I think it's an interesting design. It is top mount, which a lot of it is tried and tested. It's proved. Yeah, if you look at the polycarbonate, you can see the top mountings through the polycarbonate on the case.
Oh, well, wow, you're like way smarter than I am, because I was trying to figure out how it was mounted before, because he doesn't actually say anywhere in the thread, and I just couldn't figure it out.
Well, it's either top mount or it's bottom mount, depending on whether the screws go down or up. But it's one or the other by the look of it. I would assume top mount, looking at the case design, because it doesn't look like it would sit in the tray of the bottom. Looking at the actual.
Yeah, you're right. So
it doesn't. Yeah, it's definitely top mount.
On the case, he has. If you guys in chat are wondering what the heck we're talking about, so he has four case mounting points here on the top and 3 on the bottom. They're all pretty well spread out, and then if you can tell in this picture here, you can see through the polycarbonate. You can see where the plate actually mounts. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top. So that leads me to believe it is certainly not sandwich or bottom or anything like that. It has to be.
It's definitely top mount. Yeah.
So yeah, good eye on that, Jay. I probably would have missed that. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Talisman Solutions on it again. Another 11 tier 1 subs, taking it to a total of 81 in the channel now.
What the heck?
Oh my gosh. So MTX Junkie, Regalicious, Jeff Leopard, 234A23, Ormaniri, Shoko, Cyrusus, Pilot TXJ, Sin3D, Z-Rain, and Holton as well. Holton's watching. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Wow, that's amazing.
That's freaking crazy. That guy's a savage. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Wow, second in the bits count, and way in the lead on the tier 1 sub gift count. Wow, that's amazing.
That is freaking nuts. Also, shout outs to a couple that we missed earlier. The Ice is Nice subbed with tier 1 for 2 months. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Or ma'am. Sorry, I default to I say sir like all the time and like dude, as if I'm like talking to like guys. It's just like habitual. I don't actually mean anything by it. And Mountain Blocks gifted a tier 1 sub to KB Warriors early as well. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, nice. And also 159 has just gifted a tier 1 sub to GA333E. So thank you very much for that as well. Well done, guys.
Heck yeah, you guys are awesome today. Holy crap.
Yeah, really going for it in the chat. So thank you, genuinely, guys. Thank you for the support. We really, really appreciate it, and we probably don't share that enough with you guys. But both Brian and I are genuinely really appreciate it.
When you're like a smaller content creation studio like Top Clack, the support means so much more than you might realize.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive to us. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's epic. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate that. All right.
So just back to the board. Are you tempted to buy this UD70 then?
Yes. We'll have to see what happens once the group bag goes up. I have a feeling it's probably still going to be a little while. This seems like a very early interest check. He doesn't really have many, if any, specs listed really. So we'll have to see where it goes.
April. Yeah, it's one to keep an eye on. I definitely think so, and I am interested to see and keep up with the chat on this in the thread as to how people go with that wing keyless bottom row, and whether there's support for it or not. Because I think it looks aesthetically lovely. It's genuinely one of the better looking 75% layouts I've seen from an aesthetics perspective.
I agree. I don't usually like 75% or anything like in that range, so definitely nice. This is probably one of the nicest ones I've seen, in my opinion, since the Zeno.
Yeah. I mean, the Zeno's a different beast, I'd argue.
You know what I just realized, though? So in this guy's title, he says 75% keyboard. And then in the second paragraph, or the second structure of sentences there, he says 70%. It is a 70% keyboard. I don't know.
It's somewhere between 70. It's a ranged keyboard. It's between 70 and 75. It's somewhere in that range.
It's 72.8%. Come on, do your math. Do your math.
No,
guys. Show your work.
73.15 if you build it ISO, Brian. Get it.
Anyways, long story short, I hate the percentage system. Let's move on. All right, so moving on to some Keycap news. We have a couple interest checks here coming at you from Kono. The first one is going to be for SA Calm Depths. So it's been quite a while since we've seen Calm Depths in SA format.
It was last year, wasn't it? We saw Max Key Calm Depths last year. I think that was late summer.
Was it Max Key Calm Depths? I don't know.
So the original Calm Depths was 2014, 2015. I remember joining that.
And that was Signature Plastics, I imagine.
That was Signature Plastics.
It's originally an SA set.
Pretty sure there was a Max Key set of it last year.
I know we've seen it in GMK not too long ago. On
yes, GMK ran as well late last year. That finished in October, if I remember correctly, or started in October. But I'm pretty sure that that there's been a Max Key Calm Depths as well. I'm pretty sure there's been.
Well,
someone in chat, tell me if I'm right or wrong here.
Tell me that I'm right and Jay's wrong, because that's how I always hope every scenario goes.
I'm gonna try and search for this while you talk about it and tell us about it.
Yeah, that's fine. So regardless, this is an SA set produced by Max Keys. It is ABS, of course, and it is if you can tell from these pictures, it is sculpted. So pretty normal SA kind of stuff going on here. Someone is saying it was Nebula is saying it was IC'd in 2017. So did it actually run though?
I'm sure it ran.
There's a difference between ICs going up and sets actually running. There's a very big difference.
Group by Max Key SA Calm Depths, group by 28th of July 2017. So there we go. So it did run. It was a group by on Geekhack. If you want the link, Brian, I'm going to post it into the chat.
No, I'm good. I don't want it. I don't want it. Anyways, maybe if you missed that, here we have another one up on Kono. So
yeah. So just comparing the two, the kit is much more inclusive by the looks of it in the current run, and this is just literally me just glancing between the two images now. It looks like the kit size is larger. I might be wrong on that because I'm literally flicking between two pictures here, but it looks like there's slightly more compatibility. I might need to analyze the pictures a little bit better to confirm that. But it looks like it's the same colors again. The colorways are classic. It's tried and tested. It's tried and true. It's been often loved for a long time. The interesting thing for me here is that when we looked at the 2600 set on KVD fans a couple of weeks ago, Way actually confirmed that Max Keys has now got a lot more compatibility keys as well. So he has support for split spacebars and ISO and a few of the bits and pieces through the 2600 set with Max Key. But we haven't seen any other set pick up on those keys yet. So it is interesting that there's another group by running through Max Keys post that one that hasn't made use of those new molds.
Yeah, well, this one actually does have the split backspace and things of the like, but I did not see the ISO, so you're definitely right about that.
It was split spacebars. Sorry, I meant not split backspace.
Oh, okay.
Apologies if I misspoke there, but I meant the split spacebars.
I might have misheard. So clearly, because I just don't know anything about Calm Depths. It's pretty much the what's going on here. Also, a shout out to a Japanese horror writer who donates 1,000 bits. Thank you very much for that.
Oh wow, thank you. And Mountain Blocks has just gifted a tier 1 sub to Japanese horror writer as well. So there we go. Thank you guys.
Very nice.
All looking after. Yeah.
People are nice around here, man.
Everyone's been really nice in chat today. Lots of stuff going off. It's been really good. Really good.
Heck yeah.
So just back to the key set. So it is the original design run, which came from Calm before the own or the pwn, however you want to say that. So it's a recap of an old set.
It's Calm before Tapone. All right.
Tapone. Oh yeah, I read it wrong. I do remember the original group buy, but I'm sure he had a different username on Geekhack at the time. But that's a long time ago now. But it is double shot SA profile. Kono is saying it looks great on a silver or dark framed mechanical keyboard. I think it looks good on a lot of different options. I've seen it look good on grey-blue boards and a few other bits as well. So interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is just an interest check, so we don't have a price or much more information other than that, unfortunately. So if you are interested in this, they do have a little wait list that you can join, obviously.
Yeah, and I might just drop them a note later on and ask if they're going to pick up some of the other additional compatibility options that Max Key now have, and see if they're going to support that. It might be something we can check on, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on, there actually is another SA Keycap set that they are in interest check right now, and this one kind of took me by surprise. Because, well, for starters, this is SA Granite, and maybe if you've been around the keyboard community for a while and you remember a few years back, DSA Granite was all the rage. It was like the biggest. It was massive. Like everyone owned that key set. It was like the highest selling key set like ever at the time. You go on RMK and the first like 30 posts were all something with DSA Granite. It was really popular, really iconic, and it's cool because it's like it's not a colorful set. Like it's a very like mundane set, and, which I love, and people maybe don't really care for as much anymore. Most people I feel like are a little bit more in tune with their colors lately, but
the flashy side of things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this is really cool.
Well, you say that, but there's a lot to be said. Muted is probably at the height of it. GMK Muted is probably at the height of its popularity right now, and 9009 and all those other sets have always done well. So I think you're right. The community's kind of split. A lot of people like the really flashy sets, like Laser, that got bright popping colours, but then there's a lot of people that just like the subdued colorways as well. There's really classy looking sets, and this does tick that box. If you like the SA profile and you like those kind of muted classy looking sets, and you don't want a DSA cap set, this is a perfect opportunity to grab a Granite set.
Yep. So this is pretty cool. So this is die subbed PBT. It is a uniform row 3 SA sculpt. So you get no sculpt there. It's all just flat. So if you're into that kind of thing, this is going to be right up your alley.
It's the best way to do SA, in my opinion. Because it's basically a tall DSA. Then it's like a high pro DSA.
Yeah, I actually totally agree. And this is one thing I wanted to make note on, because this actually confused me a little bit. It says manufactured by Kono. So what do we think that means? Obviously, if it was Max Key, they would say it was Max Key. If it was Signature Plastics, they'd say it's Signature Plastics, just like they did on our last topic. So what's going on here?
I still think this is Signature Plastics, and I just think that they've got some sort of agreement with Kono to produce kits and sets. I suspect they've got some sort of agreement that might be. We might see it featured with other sets as well going forward. But as far as I know, the only people with the tool and the capability to do full R3 sets is Signature Plastics. I don't think we've ever seen that from any other SP producer.
Anyone is actually pointing out that this supposedly said SP earlier this week.
So, right, okay.
Really interesting. Maybe it's going to be kind of one of those things like what Mass Drop does when they're like, Mass Drop made, or,
when it...
Netflix original, something like that.
Yeah. when it was on HBO 4 years ago, and they just bought the rights.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think this is going to be SP, and I suspect they've got some sort of manufacturing deal with Kono for this and maybe other sets in the future, where they're using that branding. I suspect it'll be something like that, because I don't think we've seen any other really nice die subbing in solely solely row 3. Profile before. I don't think there's any other SA producer that does that.
Yeah, so pretty darn interesting, but a pretty good looking set. I liked Granite before. My mind hasn't really changed. They have. Let me try to scroll through some of these kits here.
There is a ton of kits here, an absolute ton of kits.
Yeah. Yep. Let's go through them all. There's quite a few.
There's some really cool kits actually. The secondary Legends kit's quite nice. I think I'd pick that one up personally. I don't remember seeing that for the DSA version, and the Apple kit as well is quite interesting. We don't see them a lot these days, but with die sub you can be a lot more flexible with your Legends, so that's quite kind of nice to see.
Oh yeah, wow, the secondary Legends kit's crazy.
It's really cool, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat actually. I like that.
I really like it, yeah. I'm not sure I'd use all the keys. I'll probably pick and choose just a few to highlight a board, but I think it looks really good. And it's also got full compatibility for things like international. So you've got the full Nordic kit with, well, it's an extended Nordic kit actually, because it also includes Italian and Norwegian and Swedish keys, which we don't always see, as well as ISO support. There's also an Ergodoxian kit and an ortholinear kit as well, which is good to see.
One thing I really like that they're doing here is they have a base text kit and a base icon kit. So depending on if you prefer icon mods or text mods, you can totally have your pick there, which I really appreciate as someone that is kind of an evangelist for icon mods.
Yeah, and then you can also buy the corresponding extra modifiers kit as well. So you can either have the text or the icon modifier kits on the top. Which would you pick, Brian? Would you pick the text or would you pick the icons?
Icon, all day, every day for me.
Okay.
Any way I can get icons on my mods instead of text, the happier I am.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good looking kit. Lots of compatibility. There's an absolute ton in there.
Yep. And this is just like our last topic. This is also still an interest check right now, but let's be honest, this is probably going to happen. But
they say it's going to launch on the 15th of March. It's only 2 weeks away, and it's expected to complete in September. So whilst this is an interest check, I think this one is definitely happening. The Max Key one that we talked about before is much more of a traditional interest check, making sure the interest is there. So yeah.
Yep, we'll have to wait and see. This is almost certainly going to be launching. So the 15th, pretty darn soon, just a couple weeks away. So we'll have to keep our eye on that, see what kind of pricing that we get on that. The queue time is actually a little intriguing to me. So the group buy will launch on March 15th. It'll be open for 2 weeks, maybe even a month, and then the set will complete. It's estimated to complete in September 2019, so it's going to be about a 6-month window, maybe a little bit less.
But if you read it actually say orders for SA Granite will start collecting on March 15th, 2019, and the discounted group pricing will end on June the 1st. Production is expected to take place between July and August. We plan for delivery to occur by September. So they're actually leaving it open from March all the way through to the 1st of June. So it's nearly 6 weeks, or just over 6 weeks in terms of the time.
I haven't looked at like the queue for Signature Plastics SA, but it used to be really far back, like backed up like well over a year. And it's kind of interesting. So either if this is through SP, then maybe their queue isn't as bad anymore, because this is only like a 5 or 6 month window tops between actually delivering and when the group buy ends. So maybe it's SP, maybe it's not.
Mountain Blocks did say start a rumor in the chat saying rumor Kono bought Signature Plastics. I don't think that's happened. I haven't heard anything about it. It'd be interesting if they had. I don't think that's happened.
Probably.
I think it's just it's just going to be a deal such as, as you mentioned before, Brian, mass drop made when it's actually a GMK Keycap set. I think it's going to be something like that, or it's just a spelling mistake, or maybe they have changed manufacturers. Who knows? Maybe we need to reach out to Kono and ask them when we asked them about the SP, the Max Key set. Yeah.
All right, just a quick note. Blended in chat is saying, just seen the new IC up by Old Cat for the Think 6.5, and then he links it. Now, before we go any further, this could be interesting. This could be a top Clack first, where we actually slide in a news topic, improv.
I just said we will add as well. I just said we'll add it and we will talk about it.
So how about we just say F it, do it live, and we roll into this right now. Yeah,
let's do it.
That's our next topic.
Let me repaste the link in there. Okay, so there we go. That's the link back in there.
Okay, so we have not seen this yet, obviously, because I think it literally just went up minutes ago.
Okay, so Old Cat's posted it, but it's from Potter as well on Grey Studio. 3 months in the making. I'm trying to read this quickly and scam it. 65% board. and it's designed for old cats and potters' tastes. That's what they're looking at. 6.5 degree angle, so it's not named for the 65% of the board. It's named for a 6.5 degree angle. Polycarbonate only. No intentions of making an aluminium case. That's interesting. If we do change it, we'll make a slight modification to make it either top mount or gasket mount, which shouldn't be too much work because we have other designs we can look at. So this is a high quality, good looking hot swap QMK PCB with underglow is being developed and will be included if this goes to group buy stage. So just looking at the board, so looking at that first picture, it looks like there's polycarbonate with think 6.5 blockers in varying places, either top right, bottom left, or mid right, which is interesting. So in the top right, it's very similar to designs like the TGR 910 or the Q from Quantric, where you've got that top blocker missing. The second design is almost like it reminds me of the exclusive 65% that's just been up, which has got that really small blocker on the left. It's kind of a mini HHKB blocker. And then the third one is reminiscent of the 66 key layout that we see quite often on other boards as well, with the gap in the middle above the arrows there.
Yeah, so this is quite interesting, I guess, to say the least.
Yeah, polycarb only is a really interesting point, that they're only intended to run it in polycarbonate.
Polycarb only 2U blocker. They seem pretty adamant about making this blocker 2U.
Yeah, and just putting it in different places. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely a little strange. Maybe I can't tell if I'm seeing it right. But in the second picture here, does the blocker actually alter the proper stagger? Does it alter the stagger at all for anything? Because it looks like the normal backspace and enter aren't actually aligned like they should be.
I think looking at it, it reduces. No, that looks right. No, it looks right.
Is that right? Maybe I'm just blind. It looks a little off to me.
It might just be the render or the angle in the render, but no, the layout's right.
Okay. All right then.
The layout's correct. Yeah, so the top right block is only removing that final row from the 65%, like the 910. I think it's just the angle that the render's at in that second picture that's not quite making it clear. But it did look wrong at first, but I had to count.
It's playing with my head.
Yeah, no, I think it's right. Looking at the next render down, the one with the weight design, that looks very intricate. That doesn't look cheap to design.
Yeah, that looks relatively expensive.
Yeah, that looks really expensive to machine. There is a lot going on in that weight design. I'm not sure I like that, if I'm honest.
Why is it rendered on an aluminum case if it's not going to be ran in aluminum?
Yeah, interesting. I'm not sure I like the design by Old Cat and Grey Studio. I think if you're going to do something like that, you'd put the logo of your brand on there rather than text. And I'm not sure I like the pattern to all of the cutouts into the weight. I think you could do something a lot simpler that would be a lot more classy looking.
Yeah, and a lot less expensive potentially.
Yeah, interestingly, actually looking at it, I hadn't seen this before, but that design is actually in the blocker weight as well. So the blockers have got like a weight or a badge placement. Sorry, and that design's in there as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
So much going on in this board.
Yeah. It's very, very strange, but early interest check, obviously. We don't really have any kind of price on this yet.
Yeah.
So that could be kind of cool if we could maybe get that in the near future.
Yeah, with it being a hot swap PCB as well, it is limited to that layout as well. So there's no option to split your backspace. There's no option to have a stepped or non-stepped caps lock. It is just the one layout that they offer. So it looks like a standard ANSI 65%, depending on where the blocker is. And if you like hot swap, that's a good thing. Which of the blocker options do you like, Brian? 1, 2, or 3?
Not 2. I think 2 looks the worst. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I think 1 is the easy road, and I think 3 is my favorite.
Yeah, sure. Three reminds me of other boards like the Clue board. It's that kind of layout, I
Was it
think.
the baguette that also did that?
Yeah, so the baguette had the Clue board layout, but it also had a blocker where two is as well. So it had a right blocker, so it had a HHKB blocker on the left, and then it had the standard 66 key layout on the right. So it was very much the Clue board type layout on there, or like the Royal 66 board as well that Punchy did. That's the same sort of layout.
All right, and we actually have Old Cat in the chat right now, so a shout out
Hey,
to him.
here he is.
And
Yeah.
he says something very interesting. He says, by the way, this is 4.5 millimeter to 4.8 millimeter integrated mount. It is ideal for polycarbonate as we tested. Interesting. So an integrated polycarbonate plate, thick integrated polycarbonate plate. Very interesting.
You've just been trying out a thick polycarbonate plate as well. What did you think to that? The thick PC plate?
Yeah, well, it's a love and hate relationship, because I feel like I feel like with thick plates, I mean, it's not just what I feel like, but obviously like thicker plates aren't going to flex as much. And I am someone that likes flex when they type, so
sure.
I don't hate it at all. I think it's quite nice, but I would prefer a little bit more flex. So when you do something like integrated plates, even if it's not thick, in this case it obviously is, but even when it's not thick, when you have an integrated plate, it's a much harsher feeling because there's no flex at all.
Yeah.
Because it's just part of the case. Which is some people like that, some people don't.
Yeah. I'm that way. I love the Zephyr because it's so solid and it's such a thick plate and it's really firm and stuff. And I like integrated plates as well. So I really liked that integrated polycarbonate plate that you're testing when I was using, which is 4.8 millimeters, I think.
One thing I will say that I do like more about thicker plates, especially when they're integrated, is how consistent everything feels and sounds.
Oh sure, yeah. You make it solid and rigid, and it does feel very consistent.
Like a lot of people have been hating on like the M60 for like the integrated plate. I absolutely love it. Like every key sounds like the same to me, and everything feels the same. It's so much. It's such a different experience compared to like a flexi top mount kind of experience, which I do love as well. I love both. It's just different merits.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. I'm definitely more in the firm camp personally. I know I speak to Chris Wise, like he likes the flexible, and we kind of go back and forth on that quite a lot. My view on this is that the thick integrated polycarbonate plate sounds really interesting. The only other thick integrated plates we've seen are 3 millimeters on the Clue board, and then the 4.8 millimeter on the Doro 67, which hasn't shipped yet. I don't think we've seen another thick integrated plate. Everything else has been just standard plate thickness. What I would say though is about the 4.8 millimeter polycarbonate thick plate that you've been testing. I feel that that's about as flexible as a standard 1.5 mil alu plate. I feel that it's broadly the same. I don't know if you find that.
I could agree with that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see this. It's probably not my layout with it being ANSI, but I'm absolutely interested to see what this board comes out like and looks like. And okay, if you get a prototype or some images, please do reach out and share them, because I'm dead interested to see what this goes like. And if it's worth anything, my option would be to pick option number 3 on the layout for the blocker as well.
So yeah,
I think
three would be my choice as well.
Yeah, we need that top Clack endorsed stamp to put on that one.
Yeah,
number 3, top Clack endorsed stamp.
Yeah, put that as the badge right there, just for instead of the 6.5 badge, just bam, top Clack approved.
Oh yes, Fazza is correcting me. The TR60 had a 4 millimeter integrated plate as well. Do you know, I actually bought one of those, but it hasn't shipped yet because I sillily went for the Bluetooth PCB on that one to try that out. So yes, Fazza, thank you very much for correcting me there. Thank you. So yeah, Olcat, interested. The integrated polycarbonate plate, I don't think we've seen done yet, so I'm really interested to see what that looks like and sounds. I think polycarbonate boards tend to sound really good. The TMO50 Brian with the polycarb base sounds unbelievably good. So I'm interested to see how this is. And the polycarbonate singer as well sounds amazing as well. So no matter what you put in it, you can put anything in that board and it sounds good. So I'm definitely interested to see what this sounds like when it's built.
Yep. Agreed. All right. So there is that. This is an interest check, so make sure to show interest if this is your thing. And we'll have to wait for the group buy to actually start, so we can get a little bit more on the specs, and we can maybe get some more pictures, better pictures and renders and stuff, and hopefully when they get the prototype, we can see it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So there you go, guys. That's our first ever live improvised review of an interest check without any preparation.
Usually we check out the stuff beforehand and we take notes on it and maybe share thoughts and stuff. So there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the improv.
When we reference our news doc, we actually have like listed out bullet points of what we're going to talk about and what we think about it and what my view is and what Brian's view is. So we do really go, we prepare well for these shows. It's not something we do offhand, but it was fun to do that. I enjoyed doing that. It was interesting to see something we've not seen before and react live to it.
I feel like this happens a lot too. Like we'll do Top Clack and then I'll check like Keycap and like during Top Clack like something cool like went up. I'm like, how does this always just happen? I don't understand. Anyways, speaking of really cool things happening, we have GMK Minimal coming at you finally. So we talked about the interest check last week or the week before. Pretty awesome set. It's
this has come up really quickly.
Really quickly. Yes, definitely. So this is, if you guys weren't aware, maybe you missed the last episode. This is a oh my god. Browser, please. All right, here we go. So this is a black on white kind of theme. This uses WS1 for the white, which is like the second whitest white that GMK uses, and it uses CR for the black. Yep. I believe is what it is. So a very, very nice, clean black and white theme set with a pretty minimal base kit. No pun intended, but that's part of the reason why it's called a GMK Minimal. And the price starts to reflect that a little bit. So the base price for the zero kit, which is the base kit, that's what they're calling it, the zero kit, is going to be $110. That's going to be the starting price. At an MOQ of $500, we'll get a $10 reduction there down to $100. So I think that's going to be a lot more pleasant.
Yeah, and for those in the EU as well, it does start at €109, so dollar to euro conversion is the same number. I think that's slightly more expensive in euros compared to the dollar price at the moment, but it is the same numbers. And I think it's the same for the child kits as well. $39 and €39 respectively for the plus kit, and then $19 and euros for the minus kit or the negative kit. I'm not sure how they're.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm not sure what the terminology is. Is it the minus kit or is it the negative kit? I don't know.
Plus and minus, I guess. I don't know.
Plus, minus, yeah. Positive and negative. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's kind of silly the way that they name the kits like that, but I mean, I get they're trying to fit that theme.
They've named it based on that minimal theme, haven't they? But to the set's credit, I think this looks really clean and crisp. It's a good looking set. I think it'll work well with a lot of boards and it's going to be really popular. The base kit is very limited in its layout, but it does cover a lot of the popular layouts. So it'll cover your HHKBs, your 60%, your TKL, and your standard or Sangan bottom rows if you're an ANSI user.
65%, 75%.
65%, 75%, yeah. If you are an 1800 ISO or numpad user, then you will need to buy the additional plus kit. But that gives you all of the standard keys there, including the two options for the zero key as well. For those of you that like to split that out, and the option to split the plus key as well. The ISO kit is only generic ISO. It's not a full UK kit or a Nordic kit or anything like that. It's just the bare bones to get it working on an ISO board. So it's the bare minimum for that, again, fitting that minimal theme. And my hope here is that the numpad users and the ISO users will bolster each other to try and hit the MOQ for this child kit as well. Because I think is it 100 MOQ?
It's 100. Which is pretty doable. That's doable, I feel like, for this kit.
I think if these were two separate kits, I think the ISO kit would struggle, and I think the numpad would maybe get halfway there. But I'm hoping that the two together will bolster each other. I'm hoping that's how that plays out.
Yeah. So the plus kit to get the number pad and the bare bones ISO is $40. Does that seem expensive?
It does a little bit, and so one of the things a couple of people being asked earlier on was if you buy this from the EU vendor, you're paying €150 for the base kit and the plus kit, and you've actually got less compatibility than you did in something like GMK Calm Depths, which was €125 overall. So I reached out to Dixie. I tried to reach out to Jen Ladd as well, but our schedules didn't quite match today. Dixie and I had a bit of a chat around this. So one of the things that that happens when you split out the kits is they have to package them separately at GMK, which does increase the price. So they'll package the base kit individually, they'll package the plus kit individually, and they'll package the minus kit individually, assuming they all make MOQ. But it does then mean that they have to pay additional costs for them to be packaged and wrapped individually. So so whilst it does seem a little bit on the expensive side for a kit on its own, and when you compare it to the full base kit, there is probably a real rationale as to why the price is like that. It's just one of the economics of splitting kits out. You start to take things out of the base kit, it becomes more expensive to produce the child kits, and that's why they bundled the two together, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's also the minus kit, and if you guys wonder maybe what that's for, it just gives you a little bit more, I guess ortho support is what you'd call it. It's very ortholinear kind of focus there. And that one's
and split spacebar support as well. Yeah.
That one's going to cost you $20, and both the plus and the minus kit have the MOQ of 100.
I'm wondering if what do you think to if putting the plus and the minus kit together and then doing it at say $50 would have been, I don't know if the numbers would have worked out, but how would you feel about if it was kind of two kits, Brian, instead of 3?
You know what? I don't think I really have a preference one way or the other.
I just feel like
I think we're kind of at a point in time in the community where I think people are just kind of experimenting with GMK on what kind of breakdowns that they're actually going to succeed or fail with. And I think it's too early to be like, this is a good idea or this is a bad idea. We'll kind of have to just see how it works. And maybe, after a few more sets of doing stuff like this, we can kind of have a better idea of what the community will actually want and pay for.
Yeah, I think one of my worries on this thing is people are going to buy it and need split spacebar support, and then that's not going to reach MOQ. I'm not sure that kit is going to hit MOQ for me.
That one's going to be a tough.
It's at risk, isn't it? Yeah. If you were going to give that a red, amber, green status, the base kit is green. I think that'll hit MOQ all day. I think the numpad and ISO is probably green as well, because the users will support each other, and you'll have people buying it for ISO, people buying it for the numpad, and they'll bolster each other and bring the numbers up. That third kit, I feel, is probably heavily in the amber kind of phase. I think that's probably not. It's going to struggle to hit the MOQ, but again, it's only $20 a kit. The vendor cost will be slightly lower than that. Maybe that's something that vendors will buy out just to make sure that everyone gets the keys they need. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Mr. Petrov, who just donated 500 bits. Thank you very much.
Nice.
My voice.
I'm not reading that out, actually. I'm reading. Yeah.
He also says, "Is it just me, or is Jay physically evolving into Brian?" Are you
physically evolving into Brian?
Are you a Pokemon, Jay? Are you evolving into? Am I the next stage of you?
Or am I the next engineer? I think what he's doing is saying I need a shave. He's used to me being fairly clean shaven and fairly neat around my beard, and I'm not today. And I think this is the second, the second kind of kick he's given me about that. I think
I'm getting to the point where I need to start apologizing for my appearance on the show, because I really don't like what I got going on here. But I've been kind of busy and I haven't seen my barber in a while. And I don't like to do the beard myself because it's hard to get a lot of specific angles around the neckline and stuff in a mirror. Sure. So yeah, soon I'll look better.
Fair enough. Sleepiness 95 just chats out about has the DCO1 prototype been covered? So I don't know if you've seen this, Brian. You may not have done, but I just want to address this really quickly. So the DCO1 prototype is the Mech board split 60%, and it was actually covered on Top Clack last year, and I had it on my stream on my old channel as well. When I was doing my streams, I actually had the prototype on stream, and I did a demonstration of everything as well. So it's not being covered on here because what's happened is Mech boards are reaching out to try and get 10 people to do a round 2 of the prototypes to try and help fund that prototype process, and assuming everything's successful, you get the board for a cheap price. If it doesn't work, then you get a guaranteed board from the group buy when the group buy actually runs. So we aren't covering it on the show because it's still a private prototype group buy, but I am aware it's happening, and we will cover the group buy when the group buy starts.
Yep, most definitely. Awesome.
Comdata 55 says all Brian needs is a black hat, a horse, and a buggy, and he would be Amish.
Yeah. but see, if I were Amish, I wouldn't be able to do the Top Clack stream.
Yeah, they. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they shouldn't.
No,
Technology,
no
don't they?
technology. Yeah, no technology.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. But
Talisman Solutions keep saying top Clack partner by summer 2019. It's
yeah,
possible.
times, yeah.
It's
That'd be
possible.
Nice.
That'd be amazing. It's gonna be hard, but it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah,
all depends on you guys. All depends on the viewership. That's mainly what it meant. Because like we could stream the required amount of hours to stream every single week, but you know, if
we
not
get close to it already.
Oh yeah, it's like three. I don't remember the requirements off the top of my head, but I think it's like 3 unique streams a week, at least 3, and they all you have to average like 100+ viewers.
Okay.
It's tough. It's tough. Nathan Kim, who often gets way more viewers than us, still doesn't have partner quite yet. He meets the requirements, but he hasn't gotten a reply from Twitch yet. So, like, you have to meet the requirements to apply to be a partner.
Yeah, I don't think it's a guaranteed conversion. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. When I read this on my old channel, I think getting affiliate is fine, but then to get partner, it's kind of
affiliate's easy.
A Twitch review. Yeah. And Comdata55 with the 1,000 bits. Thank you very much, good sir. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So yeah, obviously we want to hit partner. That'd be really cool. It'd be helpful, but you know, it's not a race. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be nice to do it, but it's not, you know, our priority. Our priority is giving you guys good content.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep doing us, and hopefully, just things keep going well. We have seen slow but steady growth lately, so it's good. It's going well right now.
Yeah. I've noticed the YouTube subscriber number's been going really quite swiftly over the past couple of weeks. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, well, we have. Our live viewers actually have been going up for a while. We constantly get like 115+ like every stream now, so that'd be, you know, that's pretty cool. It's more than we used to get. But anyways, we can ramble about that forever. Let's get back to the GMK Minimal to wrap this up a little bit. So GMK Minimal available right now, all 3 kits, $110 base kit. If it hits 500 units, drops down to $100. That's what we're hoping for, because I think that $10 price savings is actually really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'd like to see it in the EU as well, because if it drops down a little bit, it does make that add-on pack more palatable for a lot of people as well. I'm just going to paste the EU link in there as well, and then I was just going to mention as well that there is the Rama caps you've already got them there. You've lined up ready to speak about.
That's what I was going to do. Yep. So you can. There's 2 versions here.
Yeah, there's 2 versions. Yeah, the black and white and the gold version, or the brass gold version. The brass gold version looks really nice. I kind of like that. I do like Rama's caps. So they are really nice bits of kit.
Yeah,
that does look really good.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. So you can get the PVD brass version, or you can get the black PVD with enamel fill, which I think is what this picture is here.
It is, yeah. So those enamel fills are really nice.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Really well done. Yeah.
So continuing on with that theme of Rama caps for each key set, which I do like. They do look pretty nice, and I have used them in person, and they're very nice caps.
Yeah, I've got a few lying around from different sets. I think I've got a couple from when Nautilus ran and things like that. They are just lovely bits of kit.
They are lovely, but the one problem I do have with them is how heavy they are. And like I get it. Like, it's brass. Like, it's supposed to be heavy. It's supposed to feel premium, and it does. But it also makes switches way easier to press. So like if you put this on like, you know, like a 60, like a Telio or whatever, which is 67 grams, it's gonna feel like a 40-gram switch or like a 30-gram switch, because as soon as you start to press it, the keycap just does the rest of the work for you.
Yeah. The solution to that is to put a heavier spring if you intend to use it on one like I think I've seen you do it a few times, and I do it on quite a lot of the space bar. So that is an option. But yeah, I think the for me the black and white enamel fill one would be the cap of choice here. As lovely as the brass one is, that just really fits with that minimal theme. I think it'd look really good as an escape key or an accent key. Yeah.
There's also some absolutely fantastic renders here at the bottom. Some of which on the Bower, which is
I saw the Bower ones. Looks
pretty
good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oof. Gotta be hyped for that Bower. That might be something I actually have to get.
Yeah. It does look good, this Bower, and I'm hoping I'll get to see one at some point.
All right, so let's move on. So that's GMK Minimal, guys. Get on that. Oh, it's open until hold on, I got this. March 22nd, if I recall.
Yeah,
Huzzah,
3 weeks.
There we
I
go.
think.
Yep, it's open for there you go, 3 weeks. Easy peasy, guys. Get on that. And here are your proxies, by the way. MyKeyboard.eu, zFrontier, and then Daily Clack as well down here.
Yeah, I've already posted the MyKeyboard.eu one, but if you need
okay.
the other ones, guys, you can grab that from there as well.
All right, so that is that.
Okay.
Next up, we have an interest check for DSA Aquanaut, which
yeah.
I love that. I love that word, by the way.
Aquanaut. Just before we talk about this one, can I just say that the logo on this is so cute. I think the logo is really cool. I really love the logo on it. Yeah, it's so well designed.
It's freaking amazing. And, you know, running through the pictures, I am never the kind of person that likes key sets that are, like, in gradients.
Okay.
I have never been a fan of that, but
sure.
I think this does it really, really, really well.
Because
this makes sense. Like this is like how deep you're going in the water, and I think like when I wrap my head around that, it makes it so much more interesting to me.
Yeah, I think the logo image as well. I think that branding actually really helps you get that point across as well, because he's got the whole lighting going down the logo, and it gets darker at the bottom. It's got the mod colors in the corners, and the whole branding he's got for this set is really on point, I think.
Yeah, the theme alone makes this set amazing for me.
Yeah.
Also, I really like. I don't know if this is maybe like it's the new font, a new legend style for the caps. Is this the same one they did with DSA Milkshake?
It looks to be. Yeah, it does look to be. One thing I do like about this though is that he's gone for the mono legends on the numero. I really like that. I think that looks really suave. Just the mono legends on the number. It's really nice. It's clean. It's tidy. And honestly, I know this is going to be DSA, but one thing I would really like to see, going back to the minimal, and I did mention this to both Jan and Ryan, who are running minimal, is a GMK set where it's a mono legend numero. I think that would fit the minimal set really nice. Anyway, but that's the by and by. I've given that feedback. Let's just sort of mention it. But
also, I will say that my absolute favorite part about this set is these adorable fish novelties.
Yeah, how cool are they?
He just has them like randomly placed too. This is amazing. This set is like surprisingly well thought out for an interest check.
It is. Do you know what else I really like? I like the dive wording novelties right at the bottom, where it says dive. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love it. And the snorkel mask as well is really good.
This might be like the first gradient set I have to buy.
The other thing I do want to see as well, which is right at the very bottom of this interest check, is the Polanaut as well. So he's got a secondary Polanaut kit, which I think looks great as well. I would definitely buy both of these because I think they look fantastic together. It's a really interesting kit, is that one. So I'd like to see if that does get a full base kit or anything else, and how that fleshes out. But the grey on the white looks really clean as well. So like minimal, but in DSA, I guess, and with a softer font. So
yeah, certainly
interesting stuff.
He has a pretty good range of kit breakdowns as well.
Yep.
I do like this. So lots of options depending on what kind of user you are. These novelties, man, these are great.
It's almost worth buying for the novelties alone.
These are fantastic novelties.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons I like Milkshake so much too, is because it just felt like such a playful set. Like it's so fun. Yeah, like this particular legend, like the font style, like just lends itself so well to this fun kind of. I don't know. This is a knockout for me. I will buy this set.
Yeah, the only thing I would ask for in this, which isn't there at the minute, is ISO support shoving in one of the kits. It would be nice to have that opportunity to buy it, because I'd love to be all over this. So that's the only thing that's missing for me.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things.
Because he has kits for like everything except for that.
Yeah, and we see it quite often with other DSA kits that it's always included, like I can't remember, DSA North, I think we covered a few weeks ago. That's added it in now and stuff like that. So be interesting to see if he does add it in as a kit. I might make that suggestion and reach out to them as well. But one of the thoughts that I want to see is, and you just flashed it up there on screen a second ago, which made me think of this, is how do you think it's going to look on a TKL board where it's got the dark mods in the in the F keys. I'm not sure if I like the fact that the dark mods are going to go all the way or part of the way across the top as well. I feel like that might just on a TKL board. I'm not sure it'll work quite as well. I think I would have preferred all of the F row keys to be that teal green color.
Yeah, it's hard to say because he doesn't have any renders on anything larger than a 60%. So we don't really know. But I kind of agree. Like you can get a much better gradient on a board like a 60% or a Prionic or a Plonk or something because it's so much more compact. There's not a ton of bezel in between stuff and clusters of keys placed randomly. It's all just one big cluster of keys. So maybe I think you could be right. I think on TKL it might not look very well. It might not flow very well in terms of the gradient effect.
Yeah.
So I will probably be using this on a 60%.
That's fair. I just think if he's going to include the TKL set, we need to see a render of what that looks like because those dark full keys might just break it up the theme a little bit, and I feel like it should just be one color solidly across the top to fit that gradient theme. Because those other F keys are that tealy green color are slightly brighter than the num row, so I think if you just had it all one color across that top row, it would just make the whole transition down look a lot smoother. But that's my only other comment on it. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, I really stoked
like
for this to move on to group buy phase.
Yeah. Lots of colours in it though. Lots of colours in it. If you look at his Pantone colour selections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 colours in there. So it's a lot of colours.
Yep, but that's what you do when you have a gradient set. You have to have a lot of colours.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
These fish novelties, man.
I know they're cool, aren't they?
They're really good. Cool. They're so good. And the dive, they're so good.
Talisman Solutions made a comment on them. He says we call it friendly, and it reminds me of one of those toddler wading pools that you get in. It is really cool. It does remind me of those little kids' toys that you get as well, though. Talisman, I completely appreciate that. I think it looks really good, though. I do like it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Speaking of things that could or could not look good, depending on who you are, we have a new lineup of Kailh switches coming from Novelkeys and Kale. So this kind of took me by surprise, and I was a little curious, a little interested at first. So these are the Kailh China style box switches. I believe they're called China style based on the colors.
I think that's where it's coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, you have red and noble yellow, glazed green, and ancient gray. So pretty interesting colors there. And if you're wondering a little about these switches, this is kind of what makes them interesting. I was going through the spring weights, and a couple of them caught me pretty off guard. So
well, you caught me by surprise when we were talking about this before the show because I hadn't seen this until you pointed it out to me as well. Just before we jump onto that, which is really interesting though, Brian, because I think that's probably the biggest point to talk about. But this also mentions that box switches are IP56 waterproof and dustproof. Is that the same for all box switches? Are all box switches waterproof, dustproof? I didn't know that.
All Kailh box switches, yes.
Okay. Learn something new every day. Okay, cool.
Yep. So the Kailh box Chinese red is pretty normal. It's a linear 45 gram actuation, 55 gram bottom out. Nothing we haven't really seen before. It's gonna function like most red switches.
It's a light red switch. Yeah.
The noble yellow starts to get a little bit interesting. So it's clicky, 65 gram actuation, 50 gram bottom out. So he actually forgot the G there. It says 50 bottom out.
50 bottoms out. Okay.
Anyways, I think we can assume that's supposed to be 50 grams. So it actually actuates heavier than it does bottom out, which means that this is going to be leading us to believe that it's going to use a pretty thick click bar. So that way, it's tough to get over how thick the click bar is. It's going to have a lot of tactility.
So
it's probably going to be like the Jade or the Navy, probably.
Yeah, you're going to hit the click bar, and then you're going to force it past the click bar, and then you're going to drop to the bottom out. I think that's how it's going to feel. You're going to have that 15 gram lightning of after the click bar, and it's just going to feel like you instantly bottom out from there, which I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's going to be interesting to try.
No, yeah, certainly. But I mean, it's just going to be like, I think the J's and the Navies might have been similar. They might have actually had a higher actuation than bottom out, but I can't really recall.
Sure.
But that's going to be interesting because it's going to feel so like it's gonna feel like nothing after you crack that click bar, which is really interesting to me. But
and what about the green? What about the green one?
I think the glazed green might actually be the most interesting of all. So we have a 50-gram actuation, 50-gram bottom out. It is a clicky switch. So we have the same force required to actuate as to bottom out.
Now, does that mean it's going to be clicky without the feeling of tactility?
I don't know. I think we have to get samples of at least the glazed green.
Yes.
Just to try to see like what could be going on here. Maybe we need to have a talk with Mike and see what the theory behind this is. And then to round it out, we have another linear. That is the Ancient Gray, and that is a 95-gram actuation, 100-gram bottom out. So this is
I
a
definitely
beefy spring.
Yeah, I want to try those because I really like heavy linears. If I'm using linears, I tend to put 80-gram plus springs in them. So I'm really interested to try those out as well.
So so the gray is actually deceptively interesting too. So it's not tactile, it's not clicky. There's no bump. It is linear. So to have a linear switch where the spring is your only point of resistance, be at 95-gram actuation and 100-gram bottom out, there's like no delta between that.
Yeah.
So like as soon as you start the press, it's gonna feel outrageously heavy, which is really interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting as well because a lot of springs that we have these days in other switches, they like the reds. They start at 45-gram and they've got a linear progression in terms of weight to get to 55-gram bottom out. So they are progressive springs as standard, and that's what we have in most switches. I know people talk about progressive springs a lot, and that people like Spirit are looking at progressive springs, but they're looking at extreme progressive springs. Most switches have some sort of progressive spring in today, which takes you from actuation to bottom out, but it usually only has a small variance of 10, 15, 20 grams. What's really interesting about these linears is they don't have any or hardly any. They've got 5 grams of progression, which means that, as you say, it's going to be really heavy right at the outset and all the way down the press. It's a logarithmic function. It's literally going to feel heavy all the way down. So they're going to be really interesting to try.
Redbeard calling me out. He says, "Brian, every next switch. This is the most interesting switch of all the switches."
You did say that. You did literally go through it.
But it's true though. Like barring the reds, the other 3 are really interesting. And I think I am really excited to try, particularly the glazed green and the Ancient Gray, because I can't even imagine how like the Ancient Gray is gonna feel. Like, do you just you basically start at like 100 grams?
Well, yeah, this is the thing, right? I've got some boards that I've built with really heavy linear linear springs and switches. So I've got I've got a board with 125 gram split springs in, and that's 125 grams at bottom out. I think the actuation on them is only like 80 grams, so you've still got like a 40-gram difference between variance between start and bottom. So that's going to be really interesting.
The heavier the bottom out, the more the delta is between the actuation and bottom out. That's what I've noticed in most quote-unquote normal springs. So you have your reds here, which have only a 10-gram delta between actuation and bottom out. But like you had mentioned, switches that are usually 100 grams, 125 grams, they usually actuate around 50 to 80 grams. So you have a much wider delta between those two numbers. But here, there's virtually no delta in the 100-gram spring, which I can't even wrap my head around how that is supposed to feel. But really excited to get some.
I don't think we've got any other switches in the market that aren't minorly progressive, like the 45 gram to 55 gram. I think these are the first switches we've seen in a stock spring that are a literal linear spring where it's the same weight all the way down the press. So we've seen that on the glazed green, which I'm wondering if you'll even feel the click. I feel that might not even be a tactile click. I think it'll be a non-tactile clicky switch. So I'm interested to try that one out. But then on the Ancient Grey, that's going to feel really heavy all the way through the press. But you know what the solution to that is, Brian? If you want them to feel lighter, just buy all of those Rama keycaps and put them on there, and that will make it feel lighter.
Man, you are so smart, Jay. I knew there was a reason I wanted you to be on Top Clack with me. Oh, golly. All right. So, yeah, these are pretty interesting. So the price actually took me by surprise at first until I read a little bit more. $10
Yeah.
for 1 pack of 10, so that makes $1 per switch if my very preschool math is correct. And if you buy, let me get this right, if you order 3 packs or more, here we go, it actually drops down to 60 cents a switch. So, I mean, most people are probably going to be buying more than, 2 packs of these, because almost every keyboard uses 30 switches or more. So that's gonna be pretty easy. We can pretty much say that this is a 60-cent switch, because if any people are gonna be buying just a couple of them.
If you buy 2 packs, you're spending $20, but if you buy 3 packs, you're spending $18. So why wouldn't you buy the 3 packs? It's I think the reason for this is it's to remove some of those smaller orders and make sure that orders are of a decent size. And
certainly. I'm really, really, really excited to try these, though, and I like how they're kind of color coordinated as well. Like, they actually do the bottoms the same color as the stem to match there. It makes like the red and the yellow in particular look really good.
It does, yeah. No, I like it. It does say that the green is more green in real life. It's not color accurate in the pictures, so I'll be interested to see what the difference in shade is. But I think Mike has confirmed somewhere else that I've seen today when he was talking about these on Top Clack Discord, that these are the retooled box switches as well, so no one needs to worry about them.
Yes, I mean,
with the keycap issues.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a thing of the past now, as far as I'm concerned. Anyone that's still worried about that is kind of crazy, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. We haven't had any reports of the retooled box switches breaking anything, except for like one guy on Keycap that had like this really obscure vintage cherry set from like a long time ago. Said he had a lot of trouble with them and like broke all of his caps. But like I have not seen anyone complain about like GMK or Enjoy PBT.
I've seen no verified reports. So you're absolutely right. I think it is a thing of the past. So I think you can buy these in confidence with your.
If you're buying new Kailh switches, particularly from Novelkeys, nothing to worry about as far as I'm concerned. I tried the box pinks the other day. Worked totally fine. No problems with GMK at all. So
nice. Talisman says you could use these with GMK Metro now that we're color coordinating everything in 2019. You could, but if you put these on a board, and I think you'd have a very inconsistent feel if you used all these colors across your board.
That would not. Like, you know how people do vomit keycaps from like grab bags? You can do, like, vomit switches.
Do you know what? I might do a build like that one day.
What you should do,
because I've got a drawer full of odds and ends of switches. So.
If you're gonna do it that way, also do vomit springs.
Oh man!
Do vomit switches with vomit springs.
Well, do you know what I should do? What I should do is that you're actually absolutely right. I should do a build stream where I get all of the switches that I've got randomly in the drawer and I put them all into a PCB. But then I've got like packs of springs that have got 5 or 10 springs in each. You're absolutely right. I should tip them all into a tub and then randomly pick them out and put them into the switches and do a really, really weirdly feeling build.
Yeah, it'll be really cool for like an hour, and then it'll be the worst thing you've ever done in your life.
I think an hour is being optimistic.
I'm trying to be generous here, yeah.
But if anyone does want to do this, my recommendation would be to put the reds as your alphas, the yellow as your left-hand mods, the green as your right-hand mods, and then slap that grey on the spacebar. If someone wants to do that build, I'd love to see it.
No, I think if you're really trying to mess yourself up, you need the reds on the spacebar, and then you need all of your alphas to be the greys. So it feels like you're typing in concrete, and then when you hit the spacebar, it's like it doesn't even exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Anyways, speaking of Novelkeys, Jay, tell us about our first sponsor.
Yeah, so moving into our sponsor segment, Novelkeys, as we all know, and love Mike, has got a number of things going on. The GMK Bento group buy is still up at the minute. I think it ends soon. I'm just trying to scroll down. 28th February, so it's the last day, guys. Yep. It's in the last day right now, which also reminds me you've got 20 minutes left on to go fill out your brackets for Mech Madness, so go do that. 20 minutes, guys. So GMK Bento, the Japanese culture set, it looks really good. I think it's at 600 and something kits now. It's sold. It's doing really, really well. Yeah. So if you guys want to join this, please do. As well as the GMK Bento set, you can also pick up a Keywork Nano, the Bento edition. So this is the lovely little macro pad with the interesting slider that does match the set as well. It's in that lovely shade of blue with the brass base and comes with multiple choices for your switches. As well as that, Mike's also got the Novelkeys cream switches on there as well. So I know these have been to rave smelling reviews and smelling parties over the past couple of weeks. I know Nathan's tried sniffing them on stream after I made Brian do it, and Brian was impressed with the smell as well. So if you do want a nice smelly switch, check out the cream switches. They feel fantastic. The smell is not representative of how they feel. They are really smooth.
You can air them out. I already did.
You can. And as we've, it is, yeah, it's an interesting to know. So yeah, and as well as that, you do check out those China style box switches as well. They're already up for sale on the site too. And if you need any decent desk pads as well, I think the Hamon desk pad to match the key set, I think that finishes as well shortly. 4th of March, 3-4 days. So that's just about out of stock, but it is only $14. It has been reduced. So if you are jumping on that Hamon hype train, feel free to pick up a matching desk pad mat as well, because there's a couple of options there too.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. And make sure while you're there, you use promo code Clack, just one word.
Yep.
Clack. That'll get you 5% off your entire order. All right, next up we have zFrontier, the beast in the east, that is coming at you with not a whole lot of things lately, but I was actually talking to zFrontier recently, and the reason they haven't really been doing a whole lot is because they're trying to wrap up a lot of things they're already involved in. So, you know, respect to them for that, for trying to complete a lot of the things they're doing before pushing out a bunch more. That's actually something I definitely like to see. But anyways, right now they have a few things up still. If I can freaking flip back to it. Okay, here we go. So they have the Morgree pre-order still open for that 60% wireless low pro keyboard. I kind of dig one of these. I want to get one just kind of like so I can keep it like on my bed and use it with like an HTPC or something.
Oh, that's a cool idea. I like that idea. Yeah.
It looks pretty nice. Layout seems relatively friendly for what I like, and it's fairly inexpensive. And it uses low-profile switches and stuff, so pretty awesome stuff there. Also, they have JTK triple shots still open. Not sure how long those are going to be open for, but they are still open now. You can still get on those, and they're still proxying for lots of other things as well, including a GMK Bento, which, as we just mentioned, does close very, very soon today. So make sure, depending on where you are, you grab that.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to our third sponsor this week. It's Kono Store, so the store we know and love. These guys have got a number of different boards up for sale at the moment. So if you are interested in a good, solid 96 key keyboard, we won't mention Brian's predilection for how sizes are documented. But if you are looking for one, they've got the standard and the metal options for here between $179 and $259. It does have that lovely polycarbonate base where you can get that great underglow, and multiple options for your switches as well. I think a couple have sold out now, but there's still plenty of options there. Box pale, box reds, hacker violets, all sorts of different things. So if you guys are in the mode for shopping for a 96 key keyboard, do check that one out. As well as that, the guys on Kono have also got the Hex Gears collection, which is the fully RGB underglow per key range. So they've got everything from full size boards here to 10 keyless boards in the dawn and dusk colors. So if you are looking for something that can match a setup, whether you want to go for the light or the dark, these are really good starter keyboards. Prices between $70 and $119. $139. And Brian's got a favourite slogan about these boards as well. If you want to go ahead for that, dude.
Well, yeah, the Gemini boards in particular, the Dusk and Dawn, are essentially just K-type killers. $140. $140 gets you full programmability, full RGB, SMD RGB, as well as underglow, full programmability, PBT keycaps, USB-C, the works, and it's hot swap. So pretty cheap. I like, one thing I really like about the Hex Gears lineup is they seem to pack a lot of features in for a fairly low price. And I feel like, like you had mentioned, like for starter boards, like a lot of these are really good. Like even like some of these the cheaper ones, like I was looking at earlier, the Hex Gears Nova. If I can freaking open this, holy crap! Can there we go. So like it actually has a lot of features for $80. Like you get like the full RGB backlighting and like PBT keycaps and stuff like that. Which is like,
it's really good, really.
Yeah, with a metal body, like it's actually like pretty
It's
good price.
unbelievably good
It's pretty
value
well
for money.
priced.
Yeah. And if you're looking to get someone in the hobby, these are the perfect boards for, you know, encouraging people to start joining that hobby and getting into it as well. Yeah. And some of the other boards as well have things like dual USB-C ports and things like that, so you can change where your cable comes out of and all sorts of customizable features. So yeah, go check them out, guys.
Yep, absolutely. And last but not least, we have Zeal Generation, which you can find at zealpc.net. As usual, he has his full lineup of switches available, including, you know, the linears, Telios, and you got silent linears, the Helios, tactile switches, Zelios, and you have silent tactiles, the Xylants, and all of them are pretty darn awesome, if I do say so myself. I use all of them. I cycle through all of them, because I do really enjoy all of them. And he also has, of course, stabilizers and the like on his site as well, and PCBs if you're into that sort of thing. I think the next round for Zeal products is going to be pretty darn soon. I think it's supposed to be the beginning of March, if I recall, but sometime this month. So, you know, if you guys want to get some switches and stuff for a little bit more of a discounted price, then you know, definitely wait for this GB, which is upcoming. He usually does one every couple months, so that should be definitely coming soon. So we'll have to look forward to that.
And if you do want to support this, oh sorry, I think I saw you for that. If you do want to support TopClack, feel free to use our affiliate link, which is zealpc.net/TopClack. It does give us a small kickback, but it really helps out the show, and it shows that you support us as well, guys. So feel free to use that or not at your leisure, but we do really appreciate anyone who does use that affiliate link going forwards.
Yep. Heck yeah, and Jay already linked that in chat, zealpc.net/TopClack, so heck yeah. If you want to support us and order from Zeal, there's how you do it. All right.
Cool.
Let us roll over to a Q&A segment. So if you guys have questions about anything, hopefully we have answers for you before we head out. So get those questions in. And if you use the @TopClack, we'll actually see it a lot easier, so it helps us out quite a bit.
Yeah. So get your questions in, guys. Let us know what you want to talk about, what you want our opinions or thoughts on, or if there's any news that you think we might not have seen that you want to let us have a look at, then let's take a look. Just before we're waiting for some questions to come in, Bug Whisper, I did see that you mentioned that Hamon had it over 700 core kits a few hours ago, which is an absolute phenomenal number of key sets sold for what was started out as a meme kind of key set. Holy crap. Oh my god.
What?
Talisman Solutions.
Oh my god.
Is that 20,808 bits? Is that what it is?
20,000. Wait, yeah.
20,808 bits.
He wanted to
my gosh.
He wanted to retake the lead on the board.
Well, he did, and he smashed
it. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much, man. That is insane.
Talisman. Oh my god, man.
That is an unbelievable amount of bits.
I can't even remember what I was talking about before. That just took me by surprise when that popped up and I saw that on screen. Holy crap! That's he's literally gone almost 10,000 bits in the lead from Zeal PC having a huge lead last week. Thank you, Talisman. We really appreciate that support. I'm lost for words. I don't know what to
don't make us cry. But seriously, thank you so much, man. That is freaking awesome.
Genuinely, we appreciate that. Thank you, man.
That is genuine fire in the best of ways.
I'm trying to work out. So Talisman actually sent me a link to an article earlier on today, which was around it being 56 years today since DNA was discovered. I'm trying to decipher if there's anything in 28,008 bits that's significant to DNA, but if there is, I'm too tired at 3:49 in the morning to work it out. So I apologise if there is something significant about that, Talisman. If there is, do tell me and let me know, because I'd be interested to know. But thank you, dude. That's amazing. Wow.
Major shout outs, major hearts. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get a couple questions rolling in. We'll start with one from Antonio Margaretti, which is best switch puller. I've actually been asked this a lot lately. And,
yeah, it's been coming up quite a lot.
And right now, I don't recommend any of them. So what I actually do is I bought. See if I can find it. It's kind of far away. I bought this knockoff iFixit kit for like $20. It's called like Aria, or like Oriya or something, like on Amazon. It was like just a cheap bit set, but it also came with a bunch of other like little tools and stuff. And so I actually have these little. I recently learned these are called spudgers.
Yes.
But they're effectively just like little plastic prying tools. And this is what I use for switches because it doesn't mess up your plates, and it's actually faster if you know how to do it right. So what I do is I just get in there, and they're kind of keyed. So there's a little bit of prying, a little bit of leverage there, and you just put one on one of the switch clips, and you put the other on the other switch clip, and you just pry up simultaneously. Super duper easy, and because they're plastic, it has no risk of damaging your plate, really. Does
that work really well with tight plates? Because there's boards like the polycarbonate Singer which have really, really tight plates that even if you undo the clips, you can't pull the switch out easily. Does that still work for those, or are they going to need a bit more muscle behind them?
I've used it on the polycarb Singer before. I have pulled out switches, and it wasn't too bad. Okay. That plate is kind of a freak, though.
It is, yeah, it is.
Most plates aren't that tight. So, like I can go through on something like my M60 or something like a hot swap board, and I can pull up all the switches in like a couple minutes tops. I've gotten really good with these, though. I don't like the IC puller that a lot of people recommend because it's metal. And when I'm using metal plates, it's really easy to scratch with a metal puller.
It's fair. Yeah, no, it's a fair point, yeah. So, I do use those IC extractors, but I try to use them sparingly, as little as possible. Interestingly, though, I did see that Rama is developing a switch puller tool, so I don't know how that's doing in terms of production, but I do know that that's something that that Rama is looking at as well. So he may be our savior and may come up with a perfect tool for it.
Yeah, I think there's a void in the market where there could be an amazing switch puller that like everyone would have to buy that builds keyboards. And we just need someone to do it. But yeah, I really, really frown upon using metal switch pullers on metal plates. Really, really don't like that. There's like there's no other real options.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is a gap in the market right now, and it's where switch opening tools was 18 months ago, 2 years ago, when people were using paper clips and God knows what else to open switches, and now we've got all these 3D printed and CNC milled switch openers and things like that. So I think it's the next opportunity for someone to find a really good tool to help out the community.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a boy 31 asking, any thoughts about NKPC PBT keycaps? I'm mostly worried about warped spacebars. I've owned one NKPC PBT key set many years ago. It did have a warped spacebar. I'm not sure if they have improved their quality in that time frame. I feel like I don't see those key sets on the market very often.
Yeah.
But maybe you have a different experience.
I've never owned one, but I have had PBT keycap sets where the space bars are warped. There are methods to try and rectify those. I appreciate you shouldn't have to try and straighten them out yourself, but there are methods to do it. The method I like is to hold it over a hot kettle that's got the steam in there with some nice gloves, and then put it on a flat surface and put a weight down on top of it, so you try and get the bow out on a nice flat surface. Kitchen worktops are ideal for that, with a heavy weight on top, something like a tin of something or other. Generally works quite well for me, but you do have to get it quite hot for that to happen. I think it has to be over 85 degrees for PBT to get to that point where it's flexible and adjustable. So it can be fixed. I wouldn't worry about it because of the warp space bars, because you can fix them, you can straighten them out pretty easily, although I appreciate you shouldn't have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Follow up that, is there a reason you need NKPC PBT keycaps? Do you specifically need those ones? Because I do believe right now there are just better options on the market.
I'm thinking of
PBT or ABS.
Yeah, if you are looking for PBT, the ones on the Key Company look really good. I think you've had those, Brian, for a little while now. They're really
nice. I actually just sent them back, but they are pretty nice. But in his defense, NKPC caps are usually very cheap. It's similar to like their competitor Taihao. It's like you spend like $20 to $40 on a set. You don't spend like $60 to $100 on a set.
Sure.
But I do think there are still better options, especially if you're willing to spend like a couple more dollars. But we'll kind of see. Maybe you can have a little follow up on there. Pluto19 asking thoughts on Mito's X_X desk pad. Have I seen it?
Yeah, it's on Novelkeys.
Oh, is that the one that's
I'll
been on
show
there for a
that.
while?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's an interesting design.
oh, hold on, wait. I'll bring it up on stream. Yeah, because I can actually do that. There we go. So presumably he's referring to this one. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I like a lot of things that Mito does. This is not one of them. I think Mito's actually with Mike from Novelkeys at the minute as well. I think he was visiting today. So Mito, if you're watching, give us some better desk mats because that one's not great.
I mean, some people probably like it. I don't know. No hate. I've talked to Mito a lot, and him and I have great conversations. I like the guy. I like a lot of the sets that he does. But this desk mat, not for me. There's just too much going on there. It's too convoluted for a desk mat. For
yeah, it would make a good business card type thing, but not for a desk mat for me. But you know, good vaporwave set to match laser or something else to support one of Meter sets like Godspeed or whatever else. I'd be all over that. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, scrolling down, have we got any more questions? Melodet says, Top Clack, do you ever consider doing a follow-up to some of your news stories? Like the price drop to Aquaria recently is so drastic it's almost a new group buy. Interestingly, Brian and I actually talked about that specific point just before the show. And so on Top Clack, we tend to come back to stuff when it goes from interest check to group buy. If it's something that's really close to either mine or Brian's hearts, I think we have featured the odd item when it's had a bit of an update or things like that. But it really depends. It has to be some big piece of news as to whether it makes it onto the show or not, really.
Yeah.
Rather cover new stuff than keep rehashing the same old stories around. But we did discuss this particular one, and we both found it really interesting that the price had dropped significantly to the Aquaria. And we're both really surprised that the board isn't selling. We're both really surprised at that.
Yeah, because... yeah, like Jay had mentioned, we try not to cover things the same thing too many times. Usually when like a keyboard or a set, there's an interest check, we'll cover it. When it goes to group buy, we'll cover it again. So we already cover a lot of topics twice. Any more than that, we feel is kind of overkill, personally. But, you know, things are always subject to change. But yeah, the Aquaria situation is kind of strange because before, when he started ICing it, it was popular. People were like, yes, that's cool, I love that, it's simple, it's clean, I like the design. You know, I'd buy it. Then he put it up for group buy, and it was maybe a little on the expensive side, but it wasn't like unreasonable at all. And it was like $350 USD or something like that. And it was limited to like 26 kits, and I was like, oh, those are gonna sell. Like that's pretty limited. Like the price isn't that unreasonable. Like it'll probably sell.
Yeah, I genuinely expected to sell out in hours, not or maybe a couple of days. I thought it'd be like something like the ANSI group buy that sold out within the time frame of the group buy. I didn't think it would struggle.
It has been, and he actually, I think this is his second price drop. I think he lowered it. Yeah. He lowered it once to 300, 290, somewhere in that range.
I think it was 280, and then it dropped to 230. Yeah, I think he's dropped it by $50 each time. I think if I remember right, I think it was 330, 280, and then 230.
Which
I might be
crazy,
wrong on that,
because at 280 it starts to look pretty darn attractive. And at 230, it's like he's got to be losing money at that point.
I think he is. I think he's just trying to recoup costs now. Or it's not even. I don't think he's even breaking even at that price point.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because the board is pretty nice. Like it's not. I don't understand why so many people like aren't buying it. If it's limited to 26 units, like you'd think it wouldn't be that hard to find 26 interested parties at such a low price.
I mean, there is a lot of other boards and kits and things out there at the minute.
That's true. The market is really saturated right now on key sets and keyboards. Yeah. People just... it's hard for people to spend a ton of money on things these days.
Yeah. It was really bad at the beginning of the year as well. I think we had a few shows that were over 3 hours long because we just had so much to cover.
Everyone doing everything.
Yeah, and it's kind of lulled a little bit, but it's starting to pick back up now. I think we're in. I think it's going to go in swings and cycles. And I think we're right on the cusp of it starting to pick back up, and there'll be a lot of stuff go through quite quickly. I know we've got things like Minimal just gone into group buy, but we've got Mizu and tons of other sets that are right on the cusp of dropping waves, and that Leviathan set that we talked about the other week, and I think the whole market is going up and down. So I don't know if that's affected Oscar selling his Aquarius, but I am really surprised that it's not sold out yet.
Yeah, and it's like anytime someone loses money on a group buy, that's a bummer.
It is, yeah.
So we, definitely don't want that to happen. But I there's like at $230, no way he's gonna have trouble selling those kits, right? Like, that's
I'd thought so.
That's cheap.
I mean, that's KBD fans type prices for a limited group buy, which is unheard of. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'd like to think that price they're going to fly. I really do.
Yeah. All right. It's Undone asking for our Mech Madness winners. Says, give us a spoiler. It's closed already. I'm looking at the time right now. It is exactly 8
It's just
p.m.
closed.
So
yeah, it's just closed.
It has just closed. Should we give our winners?
Do you know what? I don't think we should. I think we should. Yeah, I don't think we should. I think what we should do is when we talk about it in each week on the show, we should say what we had and didn't have and get that up on screen and do it that way. But I think it's more fun because I don't know what you've picked and you don't know what I've picked as well. So I think it's more fun to keep it from each other and see the battle of the points going through together.
I remember my grand winners, but I don't remember a lot of the rest of my bracket because I did the bracket and I submitted it, but I didn't actually make an account on whatever the service there was. So I can't view my bracket anymore. I can't view it. I can't edit it. So I don't even remember like what a lot of the matchups I had. I'll remember them as we go. But yeah, I was gonna ask Garrett to just give me my bracket if he could, which I'm sure he can.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, we'll keep. I guess we'll keep that silent for now. I think. Yeah. We'll keep it silent for now.
there's two ways of playing it, right? And you can either go with what you want to win, or you can try and win the competition and go with what you think the general public's going to go for. So there's a couple of different ways you can play that, and then there's kind of a few different interpretations of that. Given the community that's going to be involved in this, it's not necessarily going to be the customs crowd. It's potentially going to be wider than that. So are some of the some of the things that we hold in high regard within the niches of the community, are they necessarily going to be as popular when you open that out to the wider community as well? So there's a lot of things to consider in there. It's good. And we'll give you a week by week walkthrough on what our picks are. So don't worry.
We'll go through it. Yeah, we'll go through it once next week when our actual Mech Madness segment on the show starts. It'll be a lot of fun. Absolutely. All right. Calm Data 55 is asking or saying those are actually used to separate iPhone screens from cases, so they are made to get in extremely tight spaces. Oh, I think he's talking about the spudgers that I was showing.
The spudgers, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, I know they're not made for keyboards. That's just what I use them for because they're really effective.
Yeah, and Ray as well is saying, bet the spudgers would still break the tabs on Beeson made switches. Maybe.
No, I use these for Holy Jesus in my
M16,
really? No problem at all. Yep.
There you go. Straight from Brian's mouth. There you go.
Yep.
They are fine for Jesus and Beeson switches.
Mr. Munich this is actually a really good question. If you get used lube switches, do you clean them off before applying your own lube? If so, how so?
Yes, I do. But there's so the challenge you've got here is it depends on what they've been lubed with. If they've been lubed with a Quitox oil, you're going to struggle to remove that. The oil itself is designed to not degrade with use of solvents and things like that.
A lot of people don't actually know that.
Yeah, I think it's relatively unknown. The best thing you can do is wipe off as much as you can and try and get everything as clean as possible using some tight cotton wool buds and things like that, or the sponges that you can get on. They're like a stick with a sponge on the end. Try and wipe off as much of the lube as you can. Put them in an ultrasonic cleaner. Get some some cleaning fluid in there. Soak them in denture tabs. Whatever you can do to try and loosen that, and then wipe them again and just keep rinsing and repeating until you can get them as clean as possible. If you use the greases, it's a little bit easier. Things like dish soap will break that down a little bit, but you're still never going to get 100% off. The only thing you can do is just keep using them in ultrasonic cleaner until you can't see the lube or feel it anymore, and then reapply over the top. The easiest thing to do is to generally go with whatever lube's been used before, but take as much of it away as you can, and then reapply your own, but use the same lube, so that way you're not getting any cross-contamination between lube types. But it is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, the best thing you can do actually is not buy used lube switches.
Well, there is that as well. Yeah,
that you're planning to relube. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to lube a switch and you don't want to use something that's already lubed, buy a new switch. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Boy314 says, I was looking at a PBT muted set. Is Boy was talking about the ePBT sets earlier on, a PBT muted set.
Yeah, he was talking about NKPC, or whatever it is. Yeah. Which are OEM. They're not actually cherry profile, by the way. So
Yeah.
if you're looking at a PBT muted set, would that be Enjoy PBT? Yeah, because that would be...
I think it is, yeah.
That would certainly be a step up from the NKPC stuff. Bliss9 just subbed with a tier 1 sub. Thank you for that very much. Man.
Cheers, dude. We appreciate the sub.
Aw, yeah.
I am Eru.
Says, no. I just learned this guy's name recently. Actually, it's
okay.
I am me, you are you.
Oh, I am me, you are you. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I am me, you are you. Okay, yeah. It says, it seems like recently there's been a ton of new streaming content. Do you think we're starting to go through a period of big growth or some significant shift as a community? I think that the community is constantly growing. This is a fantastic question. And the more streamers we have, the more content creation we have, the more that builds the community. It's absolutely fantastic thing. The more people we see in the community, the easier it is to build a community to better and greater things. And it gives us more of a foundation to encourage people to do stuff as well. So I'm absolutely all for it. I know Kelly's recently started streaming quite heavily, both video gaming and board builds as well. He built one of my boards as well on the stream.
The Rage and Asian has as well. I Am Me, You Are You has actually been streaming a lot lately as well.
Oh right, okay. I've not caught his streams, but I definitely want to check those out.
There's a large handful of people that have just started recently streaming, and they're already getting their affiliate links and stuff. Man of Interest was just doing produced video content for a while. He started streaming again. Mech Merlin just recently made affiliate and started streaming. So like there's a big push for live streamed content in the community right now.
People want to see it. Yeah, people want to see it. There isn't enough content.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, even if you're just doing like build streams like that. People like Nathan Kim have gotten huge in the community, basically just doing build streams. I mean, he does have a YouTube channel, obviously, but he does his streams are kind of what takes priority at the moment for him, and he's killing it right now. He's slaying the community in the best way, and his quality is fantastic. So people want to watch, man. He gets like anywhere from 100 to 200 viewers like on any like random stream he does, which is a lot. So people obviously want to watch this kind of stuff. So I think if maybe you're comfortable in front of a camera and you like to just talk to people and hang out, and if you have halfway decent quality, then like people will watch you.
Yeah, go for it. And you've got the old guard of streamers as well, like Wodan, and I know Quantric did a load of design streams, and then you've got Martin doing PCB design streams, and there's some really interesting stuff on there. It's not just building keyboards now; it's all of the design, it's all of the PCB stuff, the electronic stuff. People are just interested in this. As the community grows, people's interest grows, and people's appetite for more gets bigger. And of course, people will jump from one to the other and things like that. But the more streamers we have, the more content creators we have in the community, the better it is for the community as a whole. And both Brian and I really genuinely support that. So if anyone has questions about,
I've had a couple people message me, and they're like, "Hey, like, do you mind if I like post my stream like in the Top Clack Discord?" I'm like, do it, man. Like the whole point of Top Clack is not only to present like content, but also just like further and nurture other content that's good in the community. Like, that's what we want to do. Like, we don't want to be the only streamer. Like, that's never our goal. Like, we just want the community to grow, and we want it to grow in the right way. So like, if you're doing awesome content, hell yeah, pip that shit.
Yeah, it's like if you guys are waiting for the Top Clack show each week, most weeks Tiny is actually hosted on our channel before we go live. I didn't know this until 2-3 weeks ago, and I mentioned it to Brian, and he told me about it. But I've really got into watching artisan maker streams, so Sludge Kid and Tiny and a few other people as well making artisans. That's been a really big thing for me recently as well. So the content just needs to be there. People just need to start producing it, and it's always a good thing to see.
And this is like, I wouldn't say like this is exclusive to our hobby or anything, but if you are a new streamer or you do want to start getting into like content creation, doing something that nobody else is doing is the best route you can take.
Yeah.
That's I mean, that's part of why Top Clack has been more successful than a lot of others, is because, you know, when we started doing this thing on Twitch, nobody else was doing it. Like, people weren't even really build streaming at that time in, like, 2016. Like, that was still, like, a very fresh thing, and, like, people were like, oh, what is this? You know, Top Clack doing totally different from everyone else, and that helps a lot. It's like, when you are people like us, and like you were saying, Tiny does, like, sculpting. She screams, like, sculpts and, like, other random stuff, and, like, nobody
Really
else does that.
stuff.
And so, like, she has the cornerstone on, like, that market right now. So, yeah, if you can... I mean, streaming is definitely cool. Like, even if you just want to do it casually and they're like, hey, some people watch you and you don't take it seriously, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Take it as seriously as you want. But if you really want to try to be successful, if you can find something that nobody else is doing, that's going to be your ticket in.
Absolutely, yeah. And, you know, both Brian and I absolutely love doing it. That's why we're here. You know, we love doing it. So if you've got the opportunity, guys, take it up, give it a try. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If you love it and enjoy it, keep doing it, you know. It's always really good to see.
Yeah.
Always really.
The one thing I will say, though, like, as someone that does a lot of streams, is only do it if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And even if you're not getting a lot of viewers or you're not getting a ton of success, but you still enjoy doing it, then keep doing it.
Yeah, it takes time to build it up. So when I did my channel, I think the first 5 streams I did, I had 4 or 5 people watching, and then all of a sudden it just took off, and the next stream I had 35 people watching, and then the week after that it was 40 people, and it just kept building and building and building. And then I moved over to Top Clack, and now we've got, you know, 115 people watching each week and 1,000 people watching the VODs or more. You know, in some cases, I think the new shows had some shows in excess of 2,000 views now. Yep. It's just crazy, you know, to keep plugging at it. Don't just try and drop it.
There's a market for it.
Keep going for it. It's good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, great question.
It's a really good question. Yeah.
Comdata asking, JO1 this weekend?
Yep, Sunday evening, 8 p.m. UK time, 12 noon PST, and I'm not sure. I think that's 3 p.m. EST. I think it is 3 p.m. EST. Yeah, so Sunday the JO1 build stream will be here. The gaskets are here now. I showed them earlier on. The JO1 build stream will take place on Sunday. So if you want to check that out, please do. If not, then check out the VOD afterwards on YouTube.
Nice. Lunar Slama with a great question asking, have you ever gotten quote-unquote burned out from keyboards? It recently started happening to me. That's a great question. I feel like I have gone through, like, kind of dips here and there, but I can't really say I've ever been burnt out on keyboards or that I don't want to be in the hobby anymore.
Sure.
Especially now, like, with Top Clack, it's like this is like my life now. Like, this is what I do.
Yeah. Like,
I hang out with the people on Discord. I do this show. You know, when I can, I do build streams. Obviously, I have nothing to freaking do right now, but like this is just like an integral part of my life now. It's the majority part of my life now, even, which is pretty fun to me.
Yeah. That's fair. I think I've never got burnt out from keyboards as a hobby. I've been in the hobby a couple of years now. I've not had that, but I have been burnt out on other hobbies, and it does happen from time to time. You know, my other big hobby is cars. I love cars, collect them, work on them, and stuff like that. But I've kind of dropped off that since I picked up the keyboard stuff. I will go back to it. I still love cars. I still love driving them. It's just working that's just not happened so much for me recently. But it's one of those things. Your hobbies come and go. Some hobbies are for life, some are for just short periods, and that both of those are beautiful things. So if you're feeling burnt out, there's nothing wrong with dropping the hobby back for a little while, cutting down. Maybe having a look every couple of weeks and trying to build it back up if you want to. There's multiple different ways you can approach it, but there's no right or wrong answer with that. A hobby is a hobby. You enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, it's not a hobby anymore.
Exactly. Yep. I was literally about to say those exact words. All right. The Sweaty Yeti donates. I can't count those, but it's usually like 250. So thank you very much for that. Definitely appreciate that, my friend.
Plenty of bits. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the shamrock and the hearts, the show love. That's
it's cute, isn't it? Yeah.
I like those bits. Boy31 tags us and says the KP Republic listing says Cherry Profile, that he links that, and I actually opened that. Are those? I don't think those are NPKC. So
no, those are.
These are.
Yeah, I don't think they.
These are definitely Cherry Profile.
Are they EPVT ones? I'm not sure.
No. I think KP
No.
Republic uses a different manufacturer.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So if this is different. I like that they have the Windows 95 keys though. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, they're cute, aren't they? Yeah.
I like those Windows keys. The Win95s are great. So it's $76 for quite a bit. That's the all-in-one. So $76 gets you literally all that. That's
pretty impressive price.
That's really impressive. I've never seen one of these key sets in person, so I'm not really sure what the quality is like from this manufacturer and or die subber. So
yeah,
we'd have to see, but that price is really attractive.
Yeah, I've not tried them. I'll be honest, I've not tried them, but yeah, they look okay.
Maybe we should probably get one just so we know. Actually, honestly.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
Sweaty Eddie donates another 250 bits.
Yeah,
thanks.
I was like, have I seen that already? Is that another one? Yeah.
I was like, I had to scroll twice. So I was like, am I blind?
I was just checking it. Yeah. Cool.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right, and I think we're actually caught up on.
I think that's it.
Questions, yeah.
Caught up on the questions, yeah.
All right, so we only went over by 46 minutes. We were trying to keep at an hour and a half, and we're coming up on 2.5 hours naturally. So we'll answer a couple of these last minute questions, and then we'll head out afterwards. So
yeah, sure.
GA333E is asking, what is your favorite keyboard right now? I know it's a tough question, but the first one that comes to your mind.
TMO50. Oh, wrong side. It's up there somewhere. There it is. TMO50.
Man, I'll say the TMO50 right now as well. Yeah, I mean, because my favorite keyboard, I cycle through them all. Like, I don't play favorites when it comes to keyboards and key sets.
Sure.
I've just never really been that way, so it's tough. But right now, the TMO50 is that's a good keyboard.
It sounds good.
So fun.
It feels good. The layout's interesting enough to be fun. It's a great little travel board. I really like it. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Blammy Boy asking, do you have any experience with Gateron Silent Browns versus Alias? I'm torn over deciding if they feel identical to Alias, but with a housing that has a better sound, more bass than the Alias housing. I had a brief experience between the two. I actually thought that the Alias were a bit smoother than the Silent Browns. The Silent Browns felt particularly not good to me. I thought the Alias felt okay. Not great, but I thought they felt better.
I think you're right. I also found that the Alias had less tactility to them than the Gateron Browns. But I'm going from memory. This is a long time ago since I've used either switch. If I was going to pick a silent switch instead of those today, I'd probably pick a silent Zelio. But I know that's a completely different price bracket, so that might not be achievable. But if I had to pick from those two, I'd pick the Alias, I think.
Me too, yeah. 10 times out of 10, I would. But, I mean, I also think there are better alternatives to Alias. But, I mean, maybe you just like that particular size or style of tactility. Like, it's really easy to just be like, hey, you could get Xylence. But not a lot of people like how insanely tactile the Xylence can be. So, it's a totally different kind of feel. But, I'd pick the Alias over the Browns. But if they actually feel identical to you, and you're interested in the sound, definitely just pick which one sounds better, right?
Yeah. If you're comfortable with the feel of them and you're happy with the feel of both, then pick it over sound.
Yep. You pass asking another good question. We got a lot of good questions today. What keyboard do you wish would run again, and why?
And he says after not the TMO50. Is there anything that I feel like I've missed out on? Because that's what I would usually use as my.
Yeah, see, I missed out on the Alice, so I think, but that's such an easy answer to just be like, I don't have an Alice, let the Alice run again.
Yeah, I've got the Alice, so I'm okay with that one. It's just here, but I think for me, the only one that I feel like I've missed out on recently, it's not one of the top end boards. It's just something I really like. Is the HB85. I think that's probably the one I missed out on that I didn't buy. Or that really weird typewriter one from zFrontier. I wish I'd grabbed one of those because it's just so crazy that I like it.
Yeah, like they're kind of asinine.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect word for them.
In like kind of a good way though. Like the HB85 is like legit one of my favorite boards I've ever owned, and it's it's so obscure.
I genuinely feel like I missed out on both of those. If I could go back and change it, I would buy both of those. And I know that the typewriter one hasn't even been produced yet out, but I did hover over the buy button on that one, actually. I remember hovering over the buy button and thinking, do I get it? Do I not? I think I bought something else instead, but yeah. I just want to see what it's like.
Yeah. For me...
Bugwist has got a good one. He says Jane V2 as well. Yeah, I'm not a 10 keyless fan, so I wasn't really ever interested in it. But yeah, it is one that a lot of people would like to have.
Pluto says, I'd love a pre-production run of the Tokyo 60. since my prototype is better. Well, my proto's from a different manufacturer, so that's probably why it's better. That's tough. I mean, the easy road for me would be the Alice, maybe the TGR 910. Maybe some older like OTD boards or KMax.
Maybe.
I do like a couple of those. I like the KMac Happy quite a bit. The OTD 356 is pretty great as well. I would totally jump in on those if they were to be rerun, but I mean that's never going to happen. So.
Yeah, and I think if there were, I think 90% of the community would jump on them as well.
Talisman says raid at Keeger, singer, guitar, 220 viewers. Usually when we try to like raid or host people, we try to keep it in the keyboard community. If that makes sense, that's kind of how I view it as well. Like we're trying to build up the keyboard community. There are other streamers doing non-keyboard stuff that do awesome content, but we want to try to focus on the keyboard stuff at the moment. Blamey Boy says, interesting, thank you guys. I was planning on combining them with V2s to make Silent more tactile and V2s less tactile. Oh man.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There have been quite a few people trying to get less tactile Silent V2s because they are very tactile.
Really tactile, yeah.
My opinion is usually just lube. If you get some lube on the legs, you not only get a smoother switch, but you get a reduction in tactility. And also, one of the reasons what makes lube cool is depending on what lube you use and how much or how little you use, you can alter the tactility by a pretty wide spectrum.
Yeah. You can also put heavier springs in, that reduces it, but it does mean you've got a heavier spring to press. That'll reduce your tactility too.
Yep, absolutely. And he also says thanks and donates 100 bits. So thank you very much for that.
Thanks, man. Thank you for the bits. Appreciate that, dude.
Oh yeah. All right. So now we're caught up. So now's a good time to head out. So guys, thank you very much for watching the show today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to catch us on our official Discord server, there's a link for that below the stream, as well as our YouTube channel if you want to subscribe to that.
Come and chat with us.
Yep, absolutely. Jay will be doing his J01 build stream on Sunday. That's around noon Pacific time, or 8 p.m. His time, his like weird like UK time or whatever.
UK time. Yeah, weird UK time. Greenwich Mean Time, which all time is set on in the world, but it is weird. Whatever. Okay. Yeah.
Shh. It's just coincidence, man. So yeah, upcoming build stream there from Jay on Sunday, so that's pretty cool. I still don't really have anything to build or do, so I'm kind of sitting in a build stream limbo right now. Hopefully I get some of like the dozen things that I'm waiting on anytime in the near future so I can actually do something.
Sure.
So, we'll have that. So make sure you guys tune in next week, same time, same place, as well as this Sunday at noon Pacific if you want to catch Jay on stream building a really interesting and unique prototype he's got working on.
Yeah, some different things going on in it. So and we'll talk it through. I think some of it's been not a secret as such, but I haven't probably talked about a lot of the features that are in it. So it'd be interesting to get people's thoughts and opinions when we build it. And I'm tempted to see what it actually. Well, I'm really excited to see what it actually sounds like, and if my design philosophy will carry through to a production reality. So I'm really interested to see how it goes as well.
Yeah. Absolutely, and the Sweaty Yeti also subs with Switch Prime for 8 months in a row and says thank you for the stream, guys. So,
thanks, man. We appreciate
thanks
that.
to you guys all as well, all the viewers, the people that sub or gift subs or donate bits. We definitely greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and Talisman with the massive number, I think 22 gift subs or something like that today, and 20-odd thousand bits as well.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I think he had over 20k bits, and he had he's up to 81 subs donated. He's
mental.
He goes hard. Anyway, so thank you all very much. We definitely appreciate it, and make sure to stay tuned in. And next week, same time, same place, and all that jazz. Join the Discord. That's how you know about things before they happen too.
Yeah, come and have a chat. Have a chat. We're always about. So yeah,
that's right. All right. Any closing thoughts, Jay?
No, just come and check out us, guys. If you want to check out the stream on Sunday, and if you want to support us further through ZLPC, use our affiliate link.
Oh yeah, appreciate that, guys. So catch you guys to the next one.
See you guys.